Those days were horrible.
Dark
I'm not gonna
days.
lie. Yeah, that was around the time you guys caught up to me in like levels.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Oh man, I'm so glad to be back. Oh, there's my speaker. I've been looking for it the whole fucking time.
Why
Okay.
isn't it just in the same place all the time?
I so usually I just put it on right by my TV, but my lazy ass ended up putting it on my chair, and I forgot to bring it this morning because I usually bring it, to play music while we're working. And yeah, oh man, it feels so good to sit on my chair and play gaming. So excuse me.
What the
Wow.
fuck? Welcome back.
That's not how I wanted to start, but wow. Anyways, what else has been new? I see, you got Luke Skywalker. Wait,
I do.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I got Luke, Han, and Leia. I just got the whole damn thing.
I figured,
Um,
yeah.
cause that just makes sense.
Yeah, why not? Wait, is the lightsaber still in the game?
They should be for another 9 hours.
Wait, Skywalker week.
Yeah.
Wait, are they? Oh, they were in the item shop, right?
What? Lightsabers? No.
No, the Luke, Leia, and Han.
Oh, they were in the item shop. They're not anymore.
Okay, I figured. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I should probably just share my stream, anyways.
Oh yeah, I need to fucking post on Twitter that I'm streaming right now. All right, I'm not doing it off of the computer apparently. I need a new PC. Like really badly.
101. Tom Brady's the first NFL
Um.
player in NFL history. Tom Brady is the first in NFL history to reach 100,000 career passing yards in the regular season and playoffs. Wow. With one, two, three, four, five, six, seven Super Bowl championships.
Effect said that he's stuck on a loading screen, but he will be here in a few minutes.
Oh, Feck is back.
Feck is back.
Feck is back.
Yeah, you came just in time, man.
Wow.
Feck already owns Phasmophobia? What the fuck?
Wow.
Motherfucker. So does Alec.
Hmm. Oh wow. '60 Cubs will always be a special place in baseball history. Yes. That was one of our greatest runs. And coming back from a 3-1 deficit.
Bro, what are you talking about?
The Chicago Cubs winning the World Series in 2016.
Nice.
It was the best run in our, in season.
We love the Cubbies.
Yeah. When I saw them down 3-1, I was like, fuck, we're gonna lose. And then we win the next two games. It's tied in 3-3. Hey Feck, welcome back.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
yep, kinda.
Hello?
Hi.
Welcome back, Feck.
Hi. Yes, I can.
All right, Feck. First question.
No.
Okay.
What's up?
First question. How's Mexico?
It was good. It was cool. It was super cool.
Nice. Uh, how long were you? Did you have to go back to? Because you said after coming back from Mexico, you had to go where?
To drill. Yeah.
Yeah, he still works for the army.
Yeah.
How long were you in drill for? Or like
So I
when you
came back from Mexico on Wednesday, and then
Yeah.
I got home like Wednesday night at like 11 or midnight.
And then he immediately left the next morning. No.
And then I was home Thursday. I hung out with Shy after work, and then I left Friday for drill, and I was gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
After
So I
their
had one
work.
day home. Yeah.
After they got home from work.
Yeah.
'Cause you and I hung out a little bit.
Yeah, on Overwatch, where we got our asses kicked because Brit refuses to download it on console.
Really? You know, Tara was complaining about the same fucking shit. You know what? I
That's
have it
the
on
Brit,
console.
Brit, please, just once. We'll play it on console, and you'll see how much easier it is.
Fine. I mean, I have it. I don't know the controls for controller. I know keyboard.
You'll figure it out. You play training, and you'll figure it out. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
In fact, you're a bitch. You have
Brit.
phasmophobia.
Oh.
Okay, what?
That's what Steam says.
Oh. I was probably gifted it because I've never played it once in my life.
You're a bitch.
Why?
Get a computer. Play Phasmophobia.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll just just save
Steal
up
it.
$3,000 for a PC.
Steal it. Do what you tell me to do all the time. Fucking steal it.
PlayStations are much easier to steal than PCs.
That's not true, especially
That's
from
very
Walmart,
true.
because from Walmart, they are PlayStations aren't even out. PCs are.
I don't. It's not that easy, Britt.
Go to Walmart.
Are you guys planning on playing Overwatch tomorrow?
I don't know.
No idea.
Maybe.
No, because I was because I'll still be doing my little 4-hour stream of Sonic Frontiers tomorrow. I don't know what time you guys are getting on Overwatch. If you guys were planning on it too.
We might. I have work tomorrow, but we'll see.
I don't have anything tomorrow. I don't have jack shit, but maybe.
Oh man, it feels good to be back.
I agree.
Yeah, it feels good to be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like, it's been like what 4 or 5. Actually, I haven't played in like 4 days. This is what Jackie told me.
I haven't played in a week and a half.
Oh my god, I don't fucking know.
All right. So yeah, we got creative night tonight. I know Alex and Maggie are gonna be in about the next 40 minutes, well, 39 minutes late.
So we got a few minutes to go. We can play a few games before they get on.
Yeah.
A few minutes and a few games are two different things.
It's Britain.
In fact, you're not gonna say that we were gonna lose 4 games by now.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Shy says hello.
Hi, Shy.
Hello.
Hi, Shy.
Oh my god.
That's a nice Luke outfit you got there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love it so much.
Should we be Star Wars then? Star Wars theme?
No.
No? Okay.
Fuck you,
I was literally about to put on the
Feck just goes, yeah, no.
I only have 3 Star Wars skins, so
Is that the only? Hold on.
So what? I don't know. How many Star Wars skins do I have?
All of them, I assume.
1, 2,
Oh, I
3,
have
4,
Vader
5. I
and-
have 8. So it's not all of them. I can tell you that much. I don't have any of the new trilogy.
Well, I
Not
got
even
Mando,
Finn?
so.
Huh?
Not even Finn.
Nope. I don't have any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think.
And I don't
you-
have the Red Trooper.
I have the Red Trooper.
But I think that's the only ones I'm missing. So I think I'm missing 5 skins altogether.
Finn is the only good character from the new
Oh,
trilogy.
I'm missing Fennec, and I'm missing... oh fuck. The girl who goes in his bundle, in Fennec's bundle. But I can't remember who it is.
I forgot her name too, but I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I'm missing those 2 as well. So I think I'm missing... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I think I'm missing 6.
Did you get Boba Fett too?
I do have Boba Fett,
What?
yeah. I got Boba Fett the first day he came out.
All right, let's do this.
Hey, we're ready up, man. We're waiting on you.
Yeah, I know. I was messing with some stuff. How did I take a week and a half off and you guys still didn't catch up to me in my work?
Because I
Slightly.
also took that week off. And Vaughn also took that week off. So...
And then I didn't have Wi-Fi. But at least I got to almost 100% Super Mario 3D World, so that took up my time.
Of all of us, Vaughn has the lesser excuse. You left Feck, I moved, and Vaughn just didn't have Wi-Fi.
Well,
I was kind of sad about it.
you didn't go and like steal somebody else's Wi-Fi?
No, sadly, because the Wi-Fi. The
What
rest of the,
was shocking to me was that you didn't use like hotspot or something.
see, yeah, that's a problem. I can't use my phone's hotspot
Why not?
like on
Why?
PlayStation, because it takes a lot from it, and it'll raise up like the phone bill.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you have limit. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You
what
have
else?
stupid phone bill.
Whole
T-Mobile, yay. What the fuck is up with the bat? Oh, it's the tournament.
Hey, I have Dark Spot.
I like that a lot, actually.
Alaka Allah.
Oh shit, that's a dark spot for you. Oh well, fuck.
Oh,
I was gonna
Really?
help. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go to Feck. I was gonna help Vaughn do his mission, do his Darth Vader mission for Skywalker.
Oh,
I'm gonna land over here so I can do a little bit of Skywalker.
I will be in the middle.
I am R2. I have an R2D2 backbling, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
does he scream when you die?
I don't know. I haven't actually died with him as my backbling, so I don't know.
Or like if you get knocked, oh my gosh, that'd be so sick.
I should do
Because
that.
I mean, you have the Among Us backblings that does the sound.
Yeah. So if he gives his little like scream, that'd be great.
Okay. We got a bounty from a stormtrooper, which is
Nice.
one of the missions that you guys need.
I forgot they can do that.
I want this lightsaber. I want my green lightsaber because I am Luke with the green lightsaber right now. I have double lightsabers
Oh.
because
We have lightsabers again.
yes.
Yep.
Ah.
We also have Darth Vader back, so we have Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Ah. Was
Hi.
Luke just in the shop,
Yep.
or was
Luke,
he like?
Han,
Luke,
and Leia.
Han, and Leia. Yeah.
So they'll probably be back eventually.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Most likely.
Probably. Most likely they'll add all
Wait, Feck.
of the Star Wars characters. I have a Shokek.
Are
I also
you
do
are
shit.
you going to do the Skywalker missions?
Probably. Why?
Is
Vaughn.
that a pulse rifle? What? Oh,
Oh
I have
yeah,
one.
pulse rifles are back. Oh okay. Then I'm taking
forgot
this
they were
back
back.
and giving you this one. Because green is this Luke's color.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Here.
Why
Feck,
did you
take this
why did
big
you do that? Ow,
I
fucking
didn't-
hell. You
Did I
smacked me in the
shoot you
face with a
directly?
fucking
Sorry.
pot. What the fuck?
Why me? I just got back.
We all just got shut up.
Sorry, Feck, we'll be.
Vaughn, this is
You
where we
just got
almost won a
back,
game.
bro.
Hey, we'll be fine.
Oh wait, Feck.
No,
You
it's
like these?
I do. I do have a purple Cobra DMR right now, though. No, this is better still.
I'll take the DMR.
Guys, they're coming. They're coming.
Who is?
The bounty that's coming for you, Feck. I just saw him.
Oh shit! I didn't realize
Should put
that.
that away.
Wait, where did our bounty die?
Yeah, but the bounty just looking for the guys that are looking for Feck. They're up there.
I hear them in a car.
Yep, they are
That's not
Yeah.
them. That's not them. There's somebody
Yeah.
else. That's not them.
Oh yeah, because they
Yeah,
are
bro.
closer than that.
Here, I'll take that.
What the fuck? What? Oh,
You guys want to just move?
I heard something break.
Can take. There's that truck over there.
Oh,
they're going
fuck! Just run, man. Just.
I think that's them.
Yeah. That's
Here,
that's
here,
what I
here.
thought too. That's why I ran.
Backing up.
Oh,
Backing
okay.
up. Backing
All
up.
right. All right.
Check,
All
okay.
right.
Yeah,
Why'd you
sure,
back
let's
up?
just
Why'd
make
you
the
do
most. Let's just make the most noise possible while we escape.
I mean,
this? Come on, Feck. Come on, Feck.
it's fair. It's fine.
Just get
Yeah,
the
let's
fuck
put the
out.
guy-
We got 4
Put
minutes.
the guy they're shooting at out in the open.
I mean, they're fighting right now. You know, it's fine.
Sorry, I had to take a sip of my Bailey's before I did anything.
Sip of your what now?
Bailey's.
I've never heard of it.
It is
What kind of drink is
alcohol
that?
and it is very nice.
Whoa.
Hey, fuck you! Fuck you!
Oh, we lost a wheel. That's
Okay, that's fine. We got
Driving.
more fucking people on on the other side of us, Vaughn.
Change vehicle. Change vehicle.
Holy shit. Okay, run.
Where am I going?
Hi, Jackie.
Anywhere, I don't know. Somewhere safe. Let's go over here, I don't know.
Just take your time.
I was like, damn, and listen to that music. Let's go.
I know, right?
Oh, I
That's
can't
the
see my
perfect
inventory.
game
My
music.
my microphone is in the way. Oh shit.
What the fuck? These bunkers come from?
Oh, all right.
Uh,
yeah, sure.
So,
Good.
yeah,
Good job.
Yes, we're in
Nice job. All right.
Anybody
Vaughn and I
have a
had the
key
same
over
idea.
here?
No, I do
you have a
not.
key?
Yeah,
I
have a
forgot
key,
I
but-
had a crown. Hmm.
Oh, great, you have a crown.
This is a problem. Oh.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll be alright.
No, it's a problem because if we win, I have to drop this crown before that. So like,
Just give it to Vaughn now.
you want
Yeah,
Vaughn to
yeah.
have more crown wins? That doesn't sound like you,
Yeah.
Feck. Are you well? Are you okay?
No, sec-
Are you still sick?
Currently, I have like 12.
Okay, never mind. Just put it in the river and don't let Vaughn take them.
I asked the question for a reason.
I didn't know he had 12.
I didn't know he had that much. I just knew that he had crown wins and that you didn't want him to have more. We have one, right, Vic? We have one. I think.
Yeah, I actually have 12.
Yeah.
Yep, I have 12 because I've been winning games with.
Holy fuck! I'm dead.
Got him.
Bruh, Vaughn.
Okay, no, I don't think I need to worry
think
about
you're
this
gonna
crown.
worry
Wait,
Shit.
huh?
Oh, Jackie left?
Yo,
what happened?
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm blocking with the lightsaber. How did I fucking kill you?
It can only block for so long. Huh?
Yeah, it only blocks for so long.
No.
If you have a rapid
then-
fire, then you're fucked.
But no, he had a rifle, like an actual assault rifle.
Let's go
And
back to
just-
Lottery and see what's up with Jackie.
what
Yeah,
the
Jackie
hell?
left the party. I don't know why.
I think we had the same issue. Jackie probably couldn't hear us.
Is that the shit, the mic issue again?
I don't know. I invited her back, so let's see.
Oh, she's playing with Alan, her boyfriend.
Oh,
Well, rude.
well,
Damn.
damn.
The Herald is here. Yes, we understand. Battle Pass.
Is she?
She looks decent.
The second page one is cool.
Reality's Master. What? Whoa.
I'm trying to
what
get
the
my
fuck
buddy
is
to
this
join us.
mastery shit?
But I don't know what he's doing right now.
Can you guys not hear me? No, we couldn't.
I heard like one little bit from her, and that was it.
Oh, I
Sound
heard.
like a laugh.
I heard a little bit, and then she stopped talking.
The Herald's description is the nothing is coming. Her sword is the final cut awaits. And her cloak is the last light you'll see, which is something. It means something.
Okay, Gabe's just not
What
gonna
is
answer me.
reality your
Cool,
plaything?
thanks, buddy.
That email's so weird.
I turned
Oh,
on Alex's story. Sorry, that was my bad.
Never mind.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Can I? Never mind.
What?
Okay.
Never mind. Sorry.
Huh?
I don't know what just happened.
Oh no.
Welcome.
Yes.
I don't think Luke
use
should
the
be-
Force.
I don't think Luke should be using that force.
This is the dark ending. This is the.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say. Yeah.
I mean,
This is the
okay.
ending where he goes with Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, and
Darth Vader's like, join me, and Luke's like, yeah, all right. Vader's like, oh, that didn't.
It's
That
just
didn't
like,
take much
yeah,
work.
so
Cool.
sounds dope, man. Yeah, let's go.
Imagine them actually making like a art, or like a different type
Alternate
of ending for
timeline.
her.
Oh, that'd be actually
alternate
so
timeline.
cool.
There were books about that, weren't there?
don't think so.
I don't remember. I want to buy like the entire book series and just read through it all.
You know who I want to be canon?
You're a guy from Jedi Fallen Knight.
I wanna cry.
What is it? Fallen Order?
No. He is
What's
canon.
wrong?
I want
Oh.
the guy from
I
Force
just saw a
Unleashed to be canon.
TikTok.
Star Killer.
Hmm.
Guy from what?
Wait.
What?
Force Unleashed.
Oh,
gonna
wait,
land
hold
over
on. I
here.
was gonna go over here for Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll land at Jackie's spot.
Oh no, you
I'll
don't
go
have
you
to. It's fine. I'll join you guys in a bit.
It's like Darth Vader's over here,
Ah,
and you guys need to defeat him for one of the Skywalker missions.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
Let's
Jackie,
go!
you mentioned something about on TikTok. What happened?
Oh yeah, what was that TikTok that you mentioned?
Jackie's strength and independence is great, but it only gets you so far in a 4v1.
Whoa! What? You picking on female independence there, Feck?
No, I would also fail horribly in a 4v1.
Oh, you are not doing that, Derek.
You're like, we would all just equally fail.
What? What?
What the fuck is happening with you two?
I'm getting shot at.
Oh shit! Vaughn just landed at Darth Vader. Why did you do that?
I don't know. I just felt confident, but I don't feel confident anymore.
I'm trying to get his attention over here. I'm missing a lot. I'm trying, Vaughn. I'm trying, Vaughn. I'm trying, Vaughn. I'm sorry. I'm coming.
No, no,
Holy fuck! Moon, are you
He's
okay?
driving
Moon, what? What happened?
no. Oh, he threw his lightsaber.
Why? Stop.
There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Take his lightsaber.
Oh my God.
Take his lightsaber.
Holy fuck.
You good, brother?
Live.
Alright. Let's go
Let's-
get Moon.
You want the blue lightsaber?
I have a blue lightsaber. I have both lightsabers, actually. Right now.
Never mind.
There's that, too. Yeah, that's why I'm like, let's go get Jackie. Let's let's get her.
I'm going to be on a move again.
Feck,
Yeah, what's up?
you coming?
I killed a whole squad.
That's well,
Squad
you know,
wipe.
that just makes you seem even more sexist.
Independence is real. I believe Jackie can do anything now.
Huh?
I won a 4v1 right after I said I'd get absolutely crushed. So you know
He
what?
fought sexism. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Is Jackie talking? Is Jackie? Are you there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay,
I'm eating.
cool.
Oh, she's eating.
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have the same issue again.
Her pulse rifle's good.
No,
No?
not as good as the Stormtrooper blaster, like by any means. So
Wait,
I
pulse
would
rifles?
just get
Oh.
the Stormtrooper.
I
No.
say they're half good.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're trash.
If,
Alright.
in a
Cool,
way,
good
if
enough.
you have good aim, I would say.
Get stuff
Good, they're
from
bad.
these
Awesome.
guys. Get a gun from them. Ah. Okay, I'm fine.
I'll keep the pulse rifle and I'll trade one of my shotguns, because I have two.
Vaughn, did you open both of those chests over by Darth Vader?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, we need to reboot her. What are you doing?
What? Huh? Ooh. Shotgun.
I said, what are you
No.
doing? We need to reboot her.
On the move again.
Us are just failing at being friends. Come on.
Ow, ow, ow.
Friends.
As I'm getting shot.
Well.
I don't think I'm surviving this one.
What the fuck do you mean?
I'm gonna die. What do you mean? What do I mean?
Your friends are the
I'm coming,
stormtroopers.
I'm
and the
coming.
stormtroopers are shooting your friend.
Are stormtroopers shooting my friend?
He chromed me, so I might be okay.
No, it's a person.
Oh, it's actually a person. Huh?
Yep. Oh, and he exploded. Ooh, nice knock. Nice
I got
knock.
him. His squad is right with him. Oh fuck!
Woo! Vaughn,
Get him,
help.
Vaughn, get him.
Smacked.
Ooh!
Is Moon in
Knocked
your
him.
thing?
Hey, buddy.
I'm dead.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Nice.
Bye, bitch.
Oh,
get
I
them
was
all?
gonna say get Feck first. Vaughn did, yeah.
Wait, where?
No, Feck is getting
Okay.
healed by Moon.
Oh, okay.
He's good.
Thank you.
All right.
I think she said she was eating.
Ah,
Holy shit, he had a lot of pulp. The fucking blasters.
Well, oh wow, wow, yeah. If
Sorry,
anybody
can't
needs a
do that.
blaster, it's over here.
Well, no more rocket launcher, sadly. There you go.
well, thank you.
Good throws.
He's like, ah. Thank you.
Jesus fuck. Okay, cool.
Don't-
Amazing.
It's fantastic.
There's so many rifles here.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We have a friend.
Whoa.
I paid for friendship.
Yay!
You proud of me? I paid.
It's the best kind of friendship.
Oh, headshot.
I know
Love
it is,
that.
Feck. Thank you
Ooh,
for
I
the
love that.
validation.
Get over here.
I need to deal a lot of damage with Star Wars weapons before 8 hours from now.
Star Wars quests then?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to do them all.
Well, there's only
Smack.
there's 5 stages of one of them of the deal damage with Star Wars weapons. Whoops! Didn't
Brett,
mean to
where
do
you
that.
at?
That's cool.
Headshot. Holy shit.
Brett, we have an enemy in the area with us?
Oh, is that true? Is that right? You talking about the guys
Yeah,
who just
car
left on their
driver.
car?
Oh. Did they leave?
Yeah, I saw them leaving.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
They
mama.
booked it. Hi, Cryptic.
Uh...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Brett, I have 2 keys. Keys. I have 2
Crees?
keys. Go to the...
I have 2 crees.
Feck. Oh my god.
I love crees.
Assassin's Creed.
I love
Ooh.
Assassin's Creed. I need to get back into playing Assassin's Creed.
Uh-oh. I think this is actually the thing they used, the card they used. We actually might have company.
No, we're fine. I don't hear anybody.
That doesn't mean anything.
That means everything.
Wow. Oh.
Wow, I'm the only one who's not at
That's
100.
not good.
That's cool.
Oh, that's our teammate.
Dang
Okay,
it.
that's your hired help.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I heard somebody coming up the zip line, but it was just your
Yeah, but
friend.
he's not hired help. He's
Hired help.
no.
Buddy, do you know who
Oh,
you're
do you
fucking
do you want that?
I'm
Do you
the guy-
want that gold?
Don't touch my gold, Brit.
Hey guys, we might need some help over here.
No,
Oh.
you guys got it.
Okay. Well, we're not near you.
It's fine. Take your time.
Just
I just took that one guy.
so
so
you
far.
know,
Whoa!
we are nowhere near.
Hey, fuck
'Cause
off.
you guys bolted away from us.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, let's get out there and help them.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Woo! Woo! Don't shoot at me! How dare you shoot at me!
Brit,
I do not
Yeah,
deserve to
there's
be
a
shot
guy
at.
on the boat.
who's?
Who
are
I
you
don't.
fighting?
I don't know. I don't know who's shooting,
Hey.
but somebody's shooting.
Hey.
Feck. Oh, Feck, bad.
Oh,
Oh, Feck,
shit.
bad.
Where is this guy? Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm in deep trouble right now.
Feck, bad.
I'm in deep trouble right now.
Everything's fine. Everything's not fine. This guy's so low.
Oh, fuck. Oh no, there's another person. Oh, never mind.
No! 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 No!
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, we knocked each other at the same time. Oh, that's stupid as shit. God damn it.
No! 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 No!
Oh, Vaughn.
Oh, that's
We
so
could not
dumb. We knocked each
run.
other at the same time.
I could not run at all. That's so.
Fuck.
I was getting revived by an NPC for the first time ever, and then Vaughn died.
Actually? Oh, that's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Down to the lobby.
Yeah, we went back to lobby.
Hold on. You're telling me that my hired hand helped you?
Yeah.
What?
What, she left?
He came moonwalking around the corner, backed up to me, and saved my life.
What a bitch. What a bitch.
Hey.
Oh, man, that
Wow,
upset me
I'm so
so
glad I
much
have-
that I knocked that guy, like, as he knocked me.
I'm so glad I have the second clothing option for the gamer bear.
Huh?
The bear mecha, Grizz.
Oh, that bitch.
That's like the weirdest skin.
Yeah.
Bear
Yeah.
inside a bear? That's unbearable. Sorry.
Vaughn, you're fired.
Sorry.
I'm glad I didn't hear the joke.
I'm not gonna repeat it because he might
Good,
kick
you
me.
better fucking not.
I'm sorry if I had to hear that.
I'm streaming this, so I'll hear it later and then I'll punch you.
Oh fuck.
That's honestly a valid response.
Yeah. That was a good joke. Ah.
Is Moon coming back?
Silence.
The silence is great.
It
Very nice.
really is.
If Vaughn hurries up, we have time to lose one more match.
Question. Was there any buzzing noises?
Not that I can
Very
tell.
little bit.
No. Okay, good. I'm just making sure because I have my headset plugged in.
It's very
Stormtrooper
minor.
on one side of me. That was fucking. This guy.
Man, okay. I'm guessing you're on replay mode, Britt?
Yeah,
I figured.
I was replaying
Let's
my
guess
solo
something.
win because I didn't stream it or record it. So I was just going on replay for it. Because I'm like, I swear I did it.
Actually, no skin. I should wear. Where is she? Bingo.
So what's Jackie
This game
doing?
needs. Yeah.
But
What's
What
Jackie
is-
doing?
Yeah, what's Jackie doing?
she went to go play with her boyfriend.
Okay, so switch to trios.
Oh, I thought I did that already, but you guys readied up, I guess.
I did not.
I remember those days doing trio squads and actually being able to win those games.
Okay, so I'm not a fan of the Chrome season, but I do like the Chrome Punk skin.
The Chrome Punk skin?
Yeah, look in your quests and then go to Chrome Punk.
Oh, yeah. You know what? really, I agree. Can't even speak words, Devon. Words. Anyways, I actually like the skin too.
I also like his
I
leather
don't
skin a lot.
see what you're talking about. What?
You know?
If you go
Is
to
it Battle
challenges,
Pass?
no challenges
What?
in Chrome Punk.
Oh. Here. Yeah, honestly.
English. Yes, I know, Jackie.
I like it a lot. Oh, I'm the only one readied up now. Alright, guys. Let's
I'm
see how
readying
this-
up. It's just being slow.
All right, let's do this. Come on, Feck, do the walk with us.
Yeah! Let's go!
I wish
So
it was. I wish it was something you could join, so that you could all be in sync.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just kind of have to
We're
time
just-
it, which is kind of annoying.
Or just like that little thing that we did with the wolves and Darth Vader.
Oh, that was dope. That was just cool. That was a really good TikTok too. Thanks, guys.
Probably. I was able to get that done with my hands too. Ah.
Yeah, this pulse rifle kind of sucks. Honestly, that wasn't too much. That wasn't too bad. I think they buffed it.
I wasn't doing awful with it in the last round. So.
Feck,
No.
do you still need Darth Vader?
Yeah. I'm,
Wait,
I'm
use
not gonna be able to
Skywalker's
finish all these quests, but I
Yeah,
could
that's
use
fine.
the experience from it.
Yeah,
what weapon were you guys talking about?
the pulse rifle. I think it got buffed.
Pulse rifle?
It was just doing
Yeah.
49 on a blue.
Yeah.
So,
I think they did buff it a little bit.
I think I did-
know it shoots faster.
I think I got a headshot with it, and it was like 75.
they
Yeah.
buffed it from the Stark rifles, I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they're based on.
Oh, I miss the Stark rifles.
I miss just I miss the Stark bots, like the robots.
Yeah, they're easy.
You can
to
have a
kill.
fucking army of those. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were able to hack them too.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, Season 4. Those are the days. But I'd say Season 2 is the better one.
Oh, okay. Alright, thanks. Thanks very much.
Oh, was there not another lightsaber?
No, there was a lightsaber. I was gonna
You
get
know-
the pulse rifle, but that's fine. I bought a new one.
Hey, Britt. Speaking of pulse rifle, I got a purple one.
You got a purple one?
Yeah, out of a regular chest.
Grip
I'll
up.
buy a
Oh
gold.
wait, Vaughn, give him the
Here you
last
go.
one. There you go. Dope. Let's go.
Okay. Let's go fuck up Vader.
Arto? What the fuck? Oh, okay. Alright, Luke. It's your time to defeat Vader.
You see,
Actually, it's Gwen's time to defeat Vader.
well, you just
No,
have to
damn.
help defeat Vader, to be fair. You just have to get a hit
Ah.
on him. But what I want to do is drop some fucking shit on him.
Yeah, but actually...
Yeah.
Haha, let's fucking go! Let's
Dad.
fucking go! Oh my god, guys, too much. Let's go!
Nice.
Fuck you, bitch. Did you take his lightsaber too?
Yeah.
Probably
Come on,
did,
take the blue one.
Yeah, Vaughn, take the blue one.
I got some shit.
Now we all have different colored lightsabers.
Right, you need that.
Thank you. I do, very much so, because owie. All the rest of the junk riffs that you guys decided to pull on me.
Oh, look,
I
there's
didn't
one.
throw any.
Okay, well,
I feel
Vaughn
like-
is a dick.
Oh, yeah, I
Vaughn.
threw it. What? Oh, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah, you are now.
Wait, did I finish?
I'm
Did I finish that
good.
mission? No, I need. Fuck! I need one more Star Wars chest. Son of a bitch.
Wait, aren't there more nearby?
No, there's only those. There's some up here, unless we don't get to them in time. Good job.
Holy crap.
Good job. Good job.
No, I don't want that.
Hi.
Well,
Going from sliding into jumping counts as sprint jump. Oh, that's so lame.
That's surprising.
I'm gonna buy a few more of these.
Holy
If
crap.
you don't mind.
Alrighty. Oh, I forgot. I planted a tree over there. Is it grow? No, barely. It's only rare. Yes.
that's all.
That's it.
I just wanted you to know I was shooting at you.
That's it. It's not gonna be. It's not an enemy, but it's just me.
Okay. Let there be one more chest. Yes, let's go! Let's go! I did it!
Why my turn? I hell.
Okay, cool.
I guess you guys don't have keys, right?
I'm surprised these stormtroopers are okay with me. Uh-oh! Problem! Feck, problem!
I'm here. I'm here.
Feck, you
What
just
is
shoot!
happening?
Feck! Ah, I'm dead! Oh, okay. Alright, bye, buddy.
Sorry, hold on.
Whoa!
I'm in the truck with one of them, so you gotta give me a second.
Buddy, I got a better
Oh.
shotgun.
Did you pick up a friend? Yeah, you did.
I did, yeah. He's
Oh,
chilling
come
in
on,
the
you
car.
fall.
It's right there. Yep, there you go.
Hi, Brett.
Hi.
Hi.
Got him. You're dumbass. Get out of there, bitch.
Thanks.
Hey,
Thanks,
how's
guys.
it going, Britt?
I appreciate it. Thank
Where
you.
the fuck did they come from? They just pop out of nowhere?
I don't know.
We did great there, guys. I'm really proud of all of us.
Chili chop splashes. Look at that. There, 6.
Oh, I also had some. Chili truck. Oh, that's what you said.
Oh yeah.
Bye, guys.
Oh wait, Britt.
Go fuck yourselves.
Britt. I haven't seen 30 minutes.
Go fuck yourselves.
What? Brett, I need shield. Brett, please. I understand not giving any to Vaughn. But, Brett,
Alright,
please.
well, I
don't
guess
wanna
I'll
die.
go overlook the vault. Excuse me.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Brett, why are you mean?
I don't know what
Oh,
you're
just
talking about.
saying. Just saying, you wouldn't want to hear my coworkers burp because it's really bad. It sounds like Grandpa Rick's burps.
Grandpa. What?
I just say Grandpa Rick. I don't know why I
Why did
say
you say
Grandpa Rick.
Grandpa Rick?
I don't know why I say Grandpa Rick.
The
Grandpa
fuck?
Vaughn is secretly Morty.
Yeah. Let's keep it at
Does
that.
Morty
you know?
even say Grandpa? I don't think Morty says that.
Yeah,
Yes, sometimes.
sometimes.
Does he? I think that's more Summer than it is Morty.
The only reason I
Hey,
found
Feck.
out about the only reason I found about
Oh,
Rick
wow,
and
thanks.
Morty
I get
is
a coconut.
because,
Cool.
Yep. And mushrooms.
Wow.
Swimming.
Hey, you get shrooms. Hey, you can get high. Come on, Gwen.
Hi. Smack him.
I don't think a spider person should be on drugs.
Probably not. You might be right.
Oh my god. Damn it! I was working so hard to get that kill, but I didn't get it. Where did that lead me? To failure. There you go. Did I hear a TV in the background?
I hear something.
Oh, you
Like,
get to
it's
see that?
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's just fun.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh,
Brett,
great.
you look a little low on shield. You could probably. Oh, I'll just use that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stand there, bitch. Give me that kill.
Is that a chrome shark? It's a chrome shark.
Oh, damn it. Hey, Feck, do you have any more stuff for him?
No.
No. Brit,
Come on, bitch. Huh?
do you have any sniper ammo?
Sniper
Wait, actually,
ammo?
never mind.
What are you
Take
asking?
that back. Yeah, but I got a new
Okay.
sniper.
I hit him for 37.
Damn it.
Woo!
Smack him!
Dude, somebody rode this bitch.
Hey, bitch. Don't stand there. Fucking idiot.
You know, you're right, Feck. I was a little bit low on shield. I fixed it.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, they're dead in the storm. Oh, gotta go. Get in the boat, Feck. Oh, shit.
Ah, I got a person on me. I'm okay
Feck. Oh,
for now.
no boat.
You're fine.
No boat. Okay. Everett. Who is the person?
Shooting at us.
Oh,
Currently.
I knocked somebody from a great fall.
Why does it say that I am losing frames? And what is happening?
Losing friends.
Yeah, my computer
Headshot.
just does not like Fortnite. I don't know why.
Appreciate that.
No problem. I got you.
My
Oh,
computer
hi.
hasn't liked
How's it going?
anything since I've been back, which is really frustrating to me.
It hasn't what?
It hasn't liked anything, which is really
Oh.
frustrating to me.
Is it time for an upgrade?
It has been time for an upgrade, but like, this is just ridiculous.
Upgrade or probably a new reboot. There's people shooting.
Yep.
Healing? Oh, that was you, Rick.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot that you had the chili trucks back.
Yep.
Oh, please send me. Oh, never mind. They eliminate them. I was gonna say, this is going to be the sniper of the century. Sniper of the century. Smack him! Oh!
I didn't see
I'm
anything.
getting hyped. I'm sorry. I'm getting hyped.
I didn't
for no
either.
reason. He's got a 135 sniper headshot. Or not sniper headshot, but a body shot.
Didn't see anything.
He's a 135 too? I'm surprised the sniper
Somebody
does
just
that much
lug a
damage.
fucking grenade up there? What the fuck?
I mean, well, I was gonna say grenades should be in the game, but I meant to say rocket launchers.
Nope, I was wrong. Oh well.
Oh, we love that damage. Oh, we love that damage.
Fun. You
Come on,
see
stop getting
both
shot
of
at.
us hiding.
It's fine.
Oh, Brett.
I'm just trying to kill people
Oh.
fast.
Oh, hello. It's fine.
Indiana Jones recreation.
fine.
You know?
It's
coming right for
it's fine.
Like, you don't want to get ran over by a boulder anymore.
It was aiming directly for this
It
bush.
literally, yeah, it was coming right for us.
I don't know how many times I've watched that video over and over again.
the one that Feck got fucked up in.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a chance. I didn't even see it
I
coming.
know. Oh, neither one of us did. That was a really delayed fucking boulder.
It really was.
I was
So
like,
it doesn't just go. It has a trigger for when you walk under it.
Yeah, it doesn't go. Once you start running away, it starts going.
Like everything in its path got destroyed before it even went. So it literally waits for you to pass it.
Such a good video.
Meanwhile, right in my face. There's a
Yep.
reboot. I'll go for it.
Ooh, somebody's rebooting.
Headshot.
Oh, never mind.
I
What?
got it.
No,
There was
he's-
another person.
He's dead. He's dead. Get him out of here, coach.
Well, I missed all of those. That's fine.
Peep out of the corner. I fucking dare you. Actually, I'm going up there.
He's in the gas station.
Yep.
Careful, Vaughn.
I'm
I was about to
you're
explode
talking
these
about the guy.
motherfuckers. Trying to kill
Good-
him.
Good call. Good call.
You got so lucky that it didn't work in time.
Well, no, I don't think it would have taken my health away. It would just probably damage me because of the fire.
Oh no, it would have taken your health away because the gas is different than
Gassy.
the gas is different than me.
Vaughn, get out of the way.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is happening to
Oh,
you
a
two?
key. I found a key.
I was trying to walk into the gas station and he kept
Guys,
stepping
we
in
like
front.
literally have to go.
I'm with you. Vaughn's still shooting people.
Hey, I'm just trying to kill people quickly.
Do that.
I just
Oh,
don't
that's
have
fun.
street cred.
Okay, interesting.
That's me, yeah. Alright, I see one person in the building so far. Found him. Wow, this guy fucking went crazy
Alright,
with his.
that was our solo, so it's trio versus trio.
Alex!
Hey, Alex.
So you guys aren't showing up on stream. What the heck is going on?
Vaughn got
I know we're
super
alright.
excited about
Hey,
that.
We're beautiful people, you know?
Jesus. Hi.
Hey, it's
Hi.
fine. Well, Jesus can't help me now, but anyways.
I tried to invite you and then things said no.
Fucking hell!
Oh,
I'm
what
not
the?
gonna
Why
snipe.
do I have a wolf on me? What the fuck?
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
So wait, where exactly are they?
I saw them all up there.
Yeah, they're all up there.
Still?
Still, but they might have moved. So just.
Well, then that's not okay.
Well, I saw one. It was the whatever that skin is. The female meowscles.
Party invite sent to
Oh,
Alec.
you're just-
Alec, what the fuck kind of a
Alec.
name is that?
What is it? Mine just says Alec.
He's
This
got
is-
That's because you changed his. That's because you changed his username.
Yeah.
AR3KKU.
I see him. I see him. I see him right here. Right here.
Or
Yep, we're
Riku.
getting shot at.
Or
Yep.
3Ku.
Sniped one.
Definitely not.
Riku. It's Riku from Kingdom Hearts with arthritis.
Somebody's healing? What the
yes.
fuck?
Got it. Their shields are almost gone.
I'm moving
Almost
under
gone. Amazing.
Almost gone. I can't think right now, but I just want to kill him right now. And
Oh, alright, alright. So we're just going up then.
We're going up.
We're just doing this thing. Holy shit, they're all up here. In fact, they're all up. Well, I'm almost
God.
dead
Oh,
already.
damn.
That's cool.
Beck
That's
was
cool.
being
That's dope.
murdered.
That's amazing. Can't believe that.
not
That's fucking crazy.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, you're trash, kid.
Oh, never mind.
Yes!
Nice.
All right. I was gonna come
Oh,
up
yeah.
here and goo them.
Yes.
Hey guys.
You stole my fucking kill, you piece of shit. Well,
I have the power, sir. I'm glad to be back to get a win.
Oh, all right.
What happened?
That was weird.
Vaughn, you have 14 kills. You didn't need to steal mine.
I don't think I had any, to be honest with you.
You didn't, Brett.
Along for the ride. Let's go.
I should have had 2.
So anyways.
Hi guys, how are
couldn't
you?
Sacrificed one of your kills for him.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
I am apparently very
Good,
loud.
good.
Oopsies. Sorry, mom.
Hi, Grandma.
Oh, she's actually not in here this time.
Oh,
Alec.
okay, well.
Alex, do you have a console?
I have a PlayStation. I don't use it though.
You should get Overwatch on it because I refuse to play
I have
in
it on my
PC
PC.
pool anymore. No,
Oh yeah, PC
Stop
pool
playing.
is fucking stupid.
How?
it's terrible.
Because it is.
What do you? What makes
It's
it so
actually
bad?
the worst.
What
So-
makes it so bad? What makes it?
So
What makes
I
it so
played
bad?
console pool. I played 8 games in console pool. I won 7 of them. Every
Okay.
single game I play in PC pool, I lose.
Let's get better.
That's your own problem.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Exactly.
Britt, you complain about how annoying it is.
No,
for Overwatch
no,
because
I
you
complain
don't
about
play.
how annoying you are about it.
No, Beck is good at Overwatch. Huh? He just plays Reaper and then gets in their faces.
Ew.
I don't
Also,
actually
next
see
time
him
you
play
guys
Reaper
play,
a
good
lot.
shot.
totally
Good shot.
invite me.
I also play.
When I
Play-
played with you guys, he was playing in almost every match.
I've also learned to play Mercy now, so I play a lot of Mercy.
Yes.
But you
What?
should have been Mercy.
That is until I get Ash because she's really good and I want her.
Oh, am I the only one with every character unlocked?
No, Alex has every character, I think.
I own every character because I owned the first game and played it since release.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to make a fucking thing of things.
You've low-key just kind of just no-lifed the game, which is why you have all of them.
No, I played the first one too.
Well, okay, yeah, but for how long?
Not long at all, but I had all the characters though.
Well, it's
The only one
because
that I
you owned the
unlocked
game.
recently. Exactly. And I
So
played how
wait,
many people?
you
Like 3.
bought the game? Yeah, you bought the game. Have all the characters. You said you played 3?
No. I play like. I have like mains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know?
Okay.
Just,
Alec?
yeah, I got you.
He's making a preset.
Gotcha.
Vaughn, you know you didn't
Actually,
have
yeah,
to
that's a-
go
that's a
over
good
to
point.
the
It
other
is
squad,
creative.
right? Because we're doing creative.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I want a better backbling there. Jesus, this goes with it, kinda.
Are you enjoying your Skywalker week, Britt?
No.
I am extremely fucking happy that I
No.
have Luke
No.
Skywalker.
No.
That sucks. That sucks for you. I own
want a
all the
normal
fucking
Anakin
movies,
skin.
man.
No.
If there was a normal Anakin skin, I'd get that for sure.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna come out with one.
Oh yeah.
Wait
It's
for
just a
May
matter of
4th.
time. May the 4th be with you.
They're gonna have Anakin and Padme. Just wait for it. Imagine Padme fucking fighting in
Wait a
Fortnite
minute.
Battle Royale.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Mhm.
This creative like is supposed to be the inspiration of
That's
Stranger
from when I
Things.
played on it, when I was trying to get you up to 100
Supposed to be
levels.
what now?
Shit.
Oh.
It's supposed to be like an inspiration of Stranger Things. What it looks like to me.
It looks like the Upside Down, so
Yeah.
looks like it should
Also
be
with
the
that house
Upside
up
Down
And
at
it got
least.
all the particles.
Camp Fish Sticks.
That's the one, that's my horror map that I did, but because there's 6 of us, it won't work.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll leave.
No.
I think it needs to be 4 people.
5.
Oh, it does need to be 5.
Why should we make it
It,
after
it
five?
maxes at 5.
We could do
I
What's
just
that?
teams
noticed that
though.
I have terrible gliders.
We could totally. Oh my god, we could totally do teams. What's my my team that we haven't done in a while? Bam.
Okay, I'm just gonna go into my world of these things.
I actually forgot that we could do teams.
Yeah, because we have an even number. How odd is that?
What team? Do I have teams? I have heroes v
Don't
villains.
you have a 1 versus all? Yeah. Oh, you have that one, the houses, yeah.
I don't have 1v all, unfortunately. At the moment,
Yeah,
I
I have
have
a-
Smash
Oh,
Bros.
God.
booted.
Yeah, I have capture the flag blitz.
Oh wow.
This is actually a team
Or
game
I-
that we play a lot.
Or we could do the regular capture the flag.
I've only played this one once.
Wait, is this good? Wait, is it the capture the flag?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the big map or the one with just the bridge?
The one
This
we're
one is the
on.
one that has building in it, which is
Yeah,
none of
which
us
makes it
use
fun.
anymore.
Which makes it fun.
Both of them
I
have
do.
building, and I use.
I do. Yeah.
Alex, you need to add
Yo.
mounting, mantling.
What?
And
Oh, you don't?
sprinting.
Oh, I'm not even in the
Okay.
world right now because you guys were complaining about the map.
Nah, I think the map is good.
Every Fortnite player about chapter 2. I'm sorry.
Okay. Sprinting, yes.
We don't have mantling.
Sliding, yes. Slide kick, yes. Shoulder bash,
Oh my
sure.
God,
Sorry, I'm practicing.
Alan.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
Yes.
Again, season.
There
Every
you
time I
go.
come back. It's
It's gonna be me, Feck, and Maggie on a team versus Vaughn, Alex, and Alec on a team.
Well, let's find out.
It's gonna be the builders versus the no one.
Oh my god.
We're missing someone.
Okay, I like this.
What
Wait,
the
we're
fuck?
missing someone.
Hi, Feck. How are you?
You're missing me.
Well,
I'll
I'm
leave.
pretty sure this is exactly how I said it was gonna go.
No, it
No,
is
not at all.
Alex.
Maggie was on their team and Vaughn wasn't here.
Oh,
Here,
Vaughn
I'll
wasn't
be
here.
there.
Oh, I assumed
Yeah,
Vaughn was the one
wasn't
who
here
was
at
here.
all.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Build high.
She
creative.
said G-Mom says hi
I'll
too.
build one now. Huh?
Hi, G-Mom. I don't know who G-Mom is, but...
She called herself G-Mom for Jackbox.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Oh.
Slay
Oh.
Nicholas.
Same
Shit.
exact team.
Oh, alright.
I fucking
Interesting.
see you. Whoever that is.
Probably Alec.
No, Maggie, you just. Maggie just body blocked me.
Body block, take your bullet.
How did I find you?
You were in
You're
front
too
of
strong. I'm too weak.
Fuck you,
You're just stronger than me.
What?
Yeah, who did I just? Oh, that is.
I'll take that.
Yeah, this is the part of the game that no one wants to watch. Get him, Max. Fuck him
Who the
up.
fuck is on the bottom
Whoever
here?
is right under us.
Woo! Woo! What the fuck?
You don't give this
Oh, what the
comment.
fuck?
You could have gave us this.
Oh, wow.
Alex.
This is something that has been on the map for years, so deal with it.
I know.
Why can I still build like this, bro?
Because there's builds on this map.
Because it's just a reflex at this point, man.
Oh, what
Okay.
the fuck? That was a lag. That's a lag. That's bullshit.
How am I
You're a
missing all of these shots?
Fucking hell.
What is that
Missing all of them.
bullshit?
Grab the
Some of
flag.
them.
I'm not even mad about that angle. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
What the-
I'm
worked
just
really
gonna be
hard
I'm
for
gonna
that
be
kill.
AFK for a second.
Okay.
Okay. That walling and shit is annoying.
What shit?
Yes.
I might be having another friend join us. If he wants to
Okay.
play creative.
Oh.
Shit.
Oh. Oh.
I'm lagging.
Oh shit.
That's a good
I'm gonna
thing.
go up.
Ah shit.
away from me.
I fell. Fuck.
Alex throwing right now?
Sure,
Actual
we'll go with
factual.
that.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that.
No, who just?
Ooh. No, please stop. Please don't. I beg of thee.
I beg
Nice.
you.
Nice job. I beg
tried.
it thee.
I hate
I-
myself because I,
beg
ran.
of thee.
Does the flag go back instantly or?
Flag goes back instantly. Oh. Oh,
That
I'm
was weird.
being stupid on my
Oh,
own map.
hello.
We love being stupid.
Okay, you know, you don't have to be that mean.
Go crazy, go stupid.
What the fuck?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Are you just spawn camping, Alec?
No.
No. There's invincibility, so you have a second to get away. Yeah, who's flag camping over here, Vaughn?
What are you talking about?
Oh my god, Alex lagging like crazy.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? Dude, Alec, I can't
What
hit
is
you
this?
because I can't see you. This is bullshit.
Yeah,
You
who do you
lagged
think is
so
hitting
bad.
you? Who do you think is hitting you?
I couldn't even grab the flag.
What the
Because he
fuck?
missed.
I couldn't even grab the flag at all.
Alex, I need a way up. Never
I
mind.
know,
I guess I'll go up the stairs.
Cover me, cover me, cover me.
I don't even see
You're
Alex.
not-
Oh,
What's
Feck is
wrong?
one touch, Feck is one touch, Feck is one touch.
Go, Vic.
Nah, he got it.
No!
Let's go. Oh my god,
No,
Alec.
are you kidding?
It's on the enemy base, so whichever one is not ours.
Oh shit!
I'm dead.
So that means Alec must have had it then.
I like that.
Alex.
Oh. Oh, come
Fuck on
on.
me. Get the fuck on me. Bitch.
No, you're in the deep base. You need to get where all of our names are. Yeah, because that's the like original game base, but because we're doing
Oh,
Blitz, we don't
please,
have the full
wait,
map.
why? Why can I not build it?
Oh shit.
Oh, I have no build. What?
SMG, man.
Hey, get back over here.
No, I couldn't make it.
What? You fucking lagged.
Yeah.
Wait, there's no fall damage.
He
Whoa,
lags the
where are
entire
you? There is.
time, dude.
There
I
is.
don't understand.
I was right by the flag because I saw your footsies.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Damn it, Alec.
Did Alex
Not
grab
you
my
ate.
Good job.
Thank God.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. How did I not build a floor in that entire
Oh my god.
game?
Oh, come on.
Son of a
No.
bitch. I turned around too.
Turn around.
Come on, go, Fick. Go, Fick.
Oh my god, Feck has it?
Shut the fuck up.
What
Yeah, why did you say that?
Because they know on the map anyways. I mean,
That's okay, we won.
They didn't know though.
Timer.
This
Hey, I
is
got
rude.
10
I was
kills
so
there.
close.
I got 3 and
Jesus Christ, Alex. You need to chill out with your elimination.
oh, I gotta hold on. I gotta have my friend.
Alright,
Yeah, chill out, Alex. You're going too hard.
Yeah, you're right. Let me just like take a backseat here.
Like that fucking bitch.
Gotcha.
What? Whoa! I was right behind the fucking ramp.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
No, you weren't.
No.
On my POV, I was.
No, you weren't.
I am AFK. Hi guys.
Okay, what the fuck? What the actual?
I'm not even. What the fuck? I'm inviting my friend. I literally said that, Alex. What the fuck?
See what I mean?
Alex, I
Sorry.
literally just spawned.
Fucking
And you have
cheater?
5 seconds of invincibility.
Alex, you're a fucking cheater.
Not like it matters.
And it does because that's how you guys won last round.
No, we won because we actually had a point.
Eliminations
do matter. Like,
Except for the
immensely
aspect
matter.
of we literally had a flag that you guys didn't.
Damn it. They already have
I'm
one.
still saying they matter.
Fuck off. There it is.
No.
Nice.
Fuck.
Ugh.
Aha.
Fuck you, Alex.
That's fair.
Cheater. Someone's
Ooh.
under.
No, you-
Someone was under.
Oh shit.
Someone's behind.
And someone's over.
Where the fuck?
Hi, Maggie. You
Everywhere.
should have just kept going, Maggie.
No, you fucker. Oh, if I had the reference, it would have been way
Oh, I'm
better.
being beamed. I'm being beamed.
How am I missing? What the actual?
What do you
Alex
mean
is
missing?
Alex
You
is
took like
very
140
low.
off of
Alex is so low.
me. Ow.
But like the last 20 shots I had,
Oh my
I was
God.
missing all of them. That was such bullshit. Woo! Woo!
Who the fuck is over here?
Hi. I wanted Alex.
Oh wait, why are you
Fuck
blue?
you, Alex. I was blue on your screen? I'm
I
red
got
on
blue on
mine.
my screen.
I'm red on mine.
I straight up did not tell that you were on my team because you looked blue. Fawn, shut up. Because you're like, hey, hurry up, and it's like, we know he has it because you're saying that.
Yeah, Vaughn,
What?
you're kind of screwing our team by doing that.
It's fine.
Ask for an invite. What?
Where you going, bitch?
No!
Hey, whoever's shooting at me, I'm not coming for you. I'm just trying to kill your friends.
You're coming for our friends. Okay.
Oh!
I got you misunderstood. My bad.
You know, Alec, that didn't really seem necessary to kill me, you know?
Alec got 2 shots on him and he's like, nope.
It's fine, go.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Gabe is here, but not here. Hello, Gabriel?
Oh, wait, is it the Gabe?
No, it's not. It's not
No.
that Gabe.
Oh, what?
This is work Gabe.
I'm lagging.
Ah, okay.
You are fucking lagging and lost to that. That's a fucking sad.
Yeah, dude. He lagged like
Nice.
fucking crazy, and Feck and I
Now
couldn't
stop trying to
couldn't
build.
put a fucking shot on him.
We're gonna do it,
Not
Alex.
you.
We going, Alex?
Oh shit, why'd you come up here?
Because I faced through.
No! Alec, get him.
Oh fuck! I missed.
Okay, thanks, game. That was awesome.
I just turned into the trash
Oh
man.
my god, dude, I can't play this game like this.
Like this.
Okay, hi Maggie. This is bad. Oh my god, Alec. Oh my god, thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're like
you.
Oh. Gotcha, Brett.
Oh my god, I'm like, I fucking hit him, but I couldn't do anything. GG. Goddamn. Ah! Ah! Whoa! Holy shit! Okay.
I'm mad because he got a fucking flag.
Yeah, you guys let Fett get a
Wait,
flag.
hold on, Gabriel, can
Oh,
you hear
yeah,
us?
yeah,
Text me yes or no.
damage, man.
Oh
Hey guys,
shit!
Face me, bitch.
He's 150,
What
150.
is happening?
Alec has our
can I-
flag.
He
No, it doesn't.
dropped the flag.
Ah, ah,
The
what?
flag has been
Leave me alone.
returned.
Leave me alone, please.
You say Alec has the flag, and then I see the flag drop right in front of my face. Oh, that's horseshit. He's at our base, guys. He's at our base. Maybe we mute you, dude. We didn't even know your name existed. What do you
What?
mean we muted you?
Oh,
Whoa,
nice
where
job.
am I?
I was chasing him hardcore.
What the fuck?
What
Yes!
was that?
Let's go!
Oh,
Maggie was running right behind you.
I can't
Damn.
hear you. You can't hear
I saw footsteps and I saw Maggie.
Vaughn, did you
just,
get a
like,
flag
run, and I was
right at
like,
the
"Huh,
end?"
that's interesting.
Yes! Becky, you're literally right by me and I
I
passed
literally saw your head poke up and I was trying to beam you, but it was too late.
you. Oh my goodness.
Is it best 2 out of 3?
It's best out of
That's
3,
right.
yeah.
Best out of 3, yeah.
So this is game point.
This is game point.
Oh my god.
What the
Holy crap!
I fucking knew. I fucking knew. Oh,
Holy
fuck
crap!
off, Alex.
Oh, come
No.
on.
No! Guys, this is bad.
Hi, Maggie.
Oh shit!
That was mean. That was really mean.
Fuck off, Alex.
Oh, hi, how you doing?
We both have flags. Let's just
Oh, son of a-
carry on. Oh, that's not fair.
Well, okay.
Oh shit.
We all don't get flags, huh?
Guys, Alex has our flag.
Yep. And
Yeah, and I I tried. Oh, okay.
When did Maggie get an assault rifle? Excuse me?
What do you mean?
we
We
all
all have
have
assault
one?
rifles.
We all have it.
No, she
What are you
has an
talking
actual
about?
assault rifle. She has a scar.
We all
We
do.
have a scar.
Wait, what? No, I have the
I have a.
suppress.
To be fair, I have a
Everyone
suppress.
has a suppress.
Well, we all have
Oh,
suppressed.
fuck
Well,
off.
It's a suppressed
They
scar.
have our. They have our flag again, guys.
Hey, wait,
Yo,
wait.
let's go,
hold on,
Alex.
whoa, hey, hold on, wait. Wait, hold on just a second, please.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh,
So
oh,
that
behind you, behind you, behind you.
Maggie.
Oh, yeah, he's on the floor, he's on the floor.
Holy shit!
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, lag. We love it.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh,
Don't
Alex,
complain
you-
about your lag. Your lag is helping you.
But is it really, though?
Oh wait, do pickaxes not do damage?
Oh, hi. Hi. How are you?
Doing pretty good, how about you?
One's on a flag, one's on a flag.
Dead. So I
One's
don't
on a flag,
know.
Buying a jetpack, buying a
Yeah,
jetpack.
I'm trying to get up here so I can beam him when he's ready to
Oh my
fly.
god.
Or ready to learn.
What?
No more cheating. I call no more cheating. Because
What do
I
you mean
am
no more
AFK.
cheating?
I am AFK. Do not kill me. I'm trying to figure out this Gabriel thing.
Wait, was that a boar indicator? There's no boar in this mode.
no.
Can y'all hear me or not?
There you are. Hi, Gabriel.
Fuck.
Oh, so you can hear me?
Yes,
I was hoping I could
yes,
get
sir.
away.
What are you
Okay,
saying?
I'm gonna use my
Alex
boss.
is our base. Alex is our base.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh, it doesn't
Sorry,
matter.
it don't matter because it's just you who's gonna hear it, so screw it.
Jesus
Yeah, they got
Christ.
two
guys.
because
So
they
does
got two.
creative work?
Damn it.
We all
Hey,
have
each of us
created
got
our own
one, let's
maps, and
Let's go.
well, we're playing our maps. Welcome to
I'll
Creative
follow
Night.
that road.
Yeah, I never played this. I just
Alright.
I just play.
Yeah. That went well.
Mevon and Alec.
I
Can
just
you guys hear Gabriel?
play- No,
No,
they can't
not at
hear
all.
me because they're not my friends.
Oh, you
Wait,
guys
let me
can't
try something.
hear.
Let me try something. Hold up, voice chat, friends, teammates, everybody. Okay,
Is
there we
something like
Oh,
set
there
to?
we go,
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go.
I'm
Yeah,
like, is
there.
something set to friends
go. Nah,
only?
I set
That's
it
so
up to
stupid.
friends only, cause last game, like, it was just me and Matt. That's why.
Oh. Well, you could go to party
Yeah.
chat for that.
Yeah, I went to party chat, and that's how I got it fixed and stuff.
Well,
Alright, what's
hi
next?
there, how are you?
Oh.
What?
Okay,
Well.
goodbye.
Alex asked, "How are you?"
Oh, I'm alright.
Alright,
What about you guys?
Good.
doing good, doing good.
Original.
I'm
like
gonna
it-
load
I
up
like your
my
skin.
race.
It's a good skin.
'cause race
Thank
is
you,
good.
thank you, thank
I
you.
was about to say, where you at? Oh, I wonder why.
Oh, hey, nice. Hmm. Which one's which? Oh god. Oh lord. What the fuck just happened?
The question is,
I
Britt,
reloaded the map,
pick,
that's what
pick a favorite right now. Which one's the better one?
You're
What's the
literally
backlinks?
the
Hang on,
exact
let's see
same
these backlinks.
person. I don't. I
Same backlink,
genuinely.
same pickaxe. Well, shit.
This will
Shit.
determine the fate of our friendship.
I
right?
will.
Just so you
I'm.
know.
I feel like Gabriel could say the same thing though.
Who had
Hey,
more pixels?
I would love to stay, but one of my cousins like homies like can't get his car to start. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
shit.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was good
Later,
playing with you for the one round.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you again, man. See you in 6
No.
months.
Hey, just saying, it will not be that long if we play Overwatch.
Yeah, I.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we're
love
planning on
Overwatch.
it soon,
Dude, I
so-
love that game.
Maybe next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Anyone?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm busy
I-
next
I-
week.
I don't
probably.
know. Oh yeah,
Possibly,
Feck
possibly, we'll
has
I probably have D&D next Wednesday.
yeah, he's D&D.
Isn't gonna
Well-
want to play because I'm on PC.
I don't
I'll
care.
play it. I'll just complain about it the whole time.
He's not wrong.
God, these guys are so good. But
Alright,
yeah, I'm gonna go.
have a good night, man.
All right. Yeah.
How
Have
about
a good
that?
one, Alex.
Yeah.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Alright.
Oh, what is happening?
I don't know what is happening. You good?
Oh,
Happening. What is
no.
the? Oh shit! I
Warp
found
to
my
World Hub favorite? No, like no. What? Exit. Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, they changed the menu around.
Oh, there he
I
goes.
clicked exit like 5 times and nothing was happening.
That is so funny. Why is there 0 gravity in the Upside Down? That doesn't make any
Alright,
sense.
y'all. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I was
Why
like,
not?
Yeah, I have a good
why
night,
am I jumping too high?
There's
All right. So
0
who's
G
next?
in the Upside
Yeah,
Down.
who is
Well, the
next?
good news
now that we're
is-
even again, I do have more team maps.
The good news is my laser tag is now an option too because we have 6 people.
That is a wait. Why does evenness matter?
I think I only have enough space for 6 people. I think I only have 6 spawn points.
Oh, well then let's do it.
No, I thought you had a lot of spawn points.
I don't think
Was
so.
it only 6? I don't remember.
I think I have 1 in each color.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
actually you might be right.
Oh.
You might be right.
I found your secret stash of orange pieces.
Huh?
How did you get out there? You have
Wait, I
editing ability?
I have editing, yeah.
Oh,
I can't even see. It's happening. I'm sad.
yeah. I
And
think I only have
these
6
two
spawners.
fucking bullshit panels.
Yeah, I think it's because you had like an issue one night like fixing something, so you gave me editing to help you.
Oh, this is gonna be.
That's
so good
possible.
again.
Oh look, I have the start game button on my own map.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh,
God.
that's crazy.
What is that?
That's insane. Yeah, Gabriel.
laser
so
tag.
for laser
You
tag,
have 1 health.
we
No
don't
crouching?
count. Yeah, we don't count crouching at all, unless you're standing still. Oh well,
Oh.
Alex doesn't give a shit anyways. Never mind.
It's all good, it's all good, it's all good.
Oh, my controller.
That was, I will say, Feck, that was BS.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm used to it in this game. I don't even.
Okay, there we go. Finally.
Hi, Alex.
What?
So what's the rule again? No crouch? No
Uh,
crouch.
Yeah, you
and-
can only
No
crouch when you're
crouching.
standing still.
Standing still.
But yeah, otherwise
Huh.
it's just a one-shot challenge.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, and crossbows are like quite literally one of the worst weapons.
Everybody died so quickly.
game?
Who's left?
Yeah.
Who is left? Is it me and Vaughn?
I
Who
think
is it?
It's just you and Vaughn. It's just
It
you
is me and Vaughn. Okay.
Wait, really? Already? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah,
You
I
killed
killed.
Maggie.
I killed Feck
I killed Maggie.
and I killed Feck and Alex.
I didn't even see Maggie's death message.
See, because me and Maggie are in the same room, we get to see both points of views from you guys.
Oh,
wow.
great!
Oh.
Wow, awesome. Hey guys, how you doing?
All right,
So when
Vaughn. you're-
something
you're-
funny
you're
happens,
very
I get it on
cold,
both
Vaughn.
ends.
You're so cold. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I know.
Is
I'm
he
just
so
going on
cold?
my way.
Is that
He
how?
really
is that
is.
what we're saying right now?
Yeah. Vaughn's cold, and he should probably put on a jacket.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
cool.
fine.
I mean,
I
Maggie does
I
have
don't
a
know what
jacket
cold
on.
means in this aspect, considering I just saw his
Well, okay, yeah,
you
footprints.
Vaughn, you are
Okay.
in the tundra. You are in the tundra.
Hey, just to be fair, I mean, I work at a car wash, and
I'll say I am definitely in the snow right now.
Vaughn, you, on a scale from tundra to like kind of cold, you're kind of cold right now.
You're kind of
Yeah.
cold.
No,
You know,
he's
you're
doing a
just
lot
kind
better.
of
He's doing a
cold.
lot better.
If I stay here for 3 minutes, I will win because I have more kills.
That is factual.
Don't do that though.
Don't jinx it.
Now it's
No,
a
no.
3-minute game
Like,
of hide and seek.
like in a minute, if he doesn't find me, hi Vaughn. I'll
You know, Vaughn, you are starting to think that spring is coming right now. It's still cold, but spring's around the corner.
Well,
What?
yeah, that's nice to know.
Gabriel doesn't know any of our names except for mine. And
Mine said
Alex
my street
because
name.
yeah.
I'm Alex.
I am Vaughn, also known as Soul.
I'll try to remember it
Feck.
as much as I play.
I'm Feck. I have a real name, but nobody uses it.
Well,
That is a
nobody
fact.
here
I'll
uses
use your
it.
gamer. I'll just use your gamer names.
Alright.
And I mean,
That's fine.
Maggie is Magsy, so like
Yeah.
that one's just easy.
Yeah.
Vaughn, what are you? What are you
Maggie
doing?
was smart.
I don't know. I'm just adventuring.
You haven't checked the top floor in like 3 minutes.
yeah, I've been wondering. I've just been, you know.
You quite literally have just been going in circles.
Okay, you know what's funny is that I checked the top floor and she wasn't there.
You know what's funny is you
Oh,
haven't.
really?
You know what's funny is you
Ah.
definitely.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh wow, good shot.
What's funny is Brit is hiding where Brit always hides.
Damn
No.
it! I hit his leg.
Aw.
That's bullshit.
No, it's fine.
It's okay,
Wait, you did not deserve to lose that.
It's okay, Brit. I shot you in the face literally the moment I saw you, and you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Don't kill Gabriel first, guys. Let him play.
I was trying
He looks
to like.
Feck. What do I know?
Yeah, just don't shoot at any spider Gwens.
Oh,
that's
Oh
so
god!
Oh, come on. Feck.
No, it's okay.
It's all good, all good. I'm having
I
fun.
should've
Don't
missed that
shoot
one,
at
so-
any spider Gwens. Shoot.
shoot at Alex only.
I'm already dead. I was
Oh,
AFK.
never mind. Okay.
What the,
That
what the
makes
fuck?
sense.
What the fuck was that? Hello?
Are you up top or are you down here? Hello?
What the fuck?
Who is this?
Um,
Well, I know where Vaughn is.
was it me?
It wasn't me.
I heard someone dancing.
It wasn't me.
You fucking
That's
died.
bull- Bullshit.
Camera.
No,
It
it's not
wasn't me.
bullshit.
Well, it's me, Maggie, and Vaughn.
Yep.
Kill these bitches, Maggie.
What?
Yeah.
Let's go!
Oh.
I
Okay.
didn't expect that.
Oh, is she? Oh, are they down below? Is she down below?
Ah, my side.
Let's go.
Oh.
Aww.
Frick, no.
Notice how different the crowd is versus who wins.
Nah. To be fair, I was very excited when Maggie killed him. So
That was the only shot I've seen that was like dead on, and it actually gave it. to the person.
that's so fair.
Imagine the weapon being accurate. Couldn't be.
Dude, I killed Alex with like the bolt being to the left of his head by miles.
Yeah, not to mention
Alright,
the
well,
whole
Vaughn's
standing
next to me.
still. So the fact that it
Shut up.
was still that far off is impressive.
Maggie.
Who's this?
Maggie.
Wait, Feck, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't gonna shoot.
I'll lead you to Vaughn.
You'll lead me to Vaughn? I'm not even there.
What
Never
the
mind, he's
fuck?
dead.
Oh,
Is
okay,
that
never mind.
bullshit?
Where? Where?
Alex. Alex.
So who's still alive?
Me.
Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me.
Not anymore.
Alex, I'm surprised that you were able to hit that because you were facing like.
oh.
We
really-
are using crossbows. It
GG's,
doesn't
Gabe.
matter.
GG's.
Alex, you were jumping and running at the same time. On my
Oh,
screen.
man.
Like, I'll send you the POV, but it's just weird. the way it is.
Alex, you'll never
Oh my
guess.
God.
Gabe hitting that Brit strategy.
Yep.
But which
You'll
one?
never guess. This is the original strategy, if you remember that one.
Oh, I do actually remember that one.
Subscribe? Is that what you're gonna say, Feck?
Subscribe!
Subscribe,
Hey,
like, and
everybody,
comment.
subscribe!
No,
Let's go!
I was gonna say, except it's slightly different.
Yeah, I was about to say it's very different actually.
The spot is different.
But it's not
But it's the
here.
same.
Well, is it? Is
I
it
see the footsies.
slightly
Yeah.
different? This isn't different from my first one. My first one was actually those exact stairs, I think.
No. You use the ones out in the main room.
Where the fuck? I saw the footsies. Oh, I'm playing like Vaughn this game.
Oh no.
Hey, I mean,
Oh, it's just you and Gabriel too.
It is.
Yep.
I'm trying to slide.
well, at least Brit is not wearing the Stormtrooper skin, so
Can you
her
not
shit
slide?
doesn't phase into the fucking map.
I can. It's
Gabriel,
just being
remember,
slow.
crouching is only for standing still.
Yeah. Okay. Noted.
I just wish you can disable crouching. It would make it so much easier than having to explain it every single time we play these modes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alex, what are you eating?
Rich crackers.
So I was gonna say crackers or pretzels. Ooh!
Oh,
Let's
hi.
go! Oh, fair enough.
No.
Yeah, let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go!
I mean, that's the crossbows in a nutshell.
You're not wrong.
Just like
Wow, we got a
Crystal's attack.
triple 3 eliminated. We got a triple 2 eliminated. That's nice. Alright. Crossbow though.
Wow.
Alright.
Adding
Gabriel?
one person makes these games so much longer.
Well, yeah, because that's one more person we have to wait to die.
Because usually we will have 5, right? 5 of us. So far.
Yeah.
In our
There's-
normal group that we play, it's 5, yes.
Yeah. I told Tara she should play Fortnite with us again.
Yeah, Tara needs to come back online. Like, come on.
I see you, Spider Gwen, but I don't know which Spider Gwen it is.
All of them at the same time.
You will never
I
know.
remember
What? In what color?
Blue.
Oh, well,
Well, I think
That's
I think
gay.
you
That's-
know.
That's so gay. That's definitely gay.
Oh.
Well,
That's,
it wasn't
that's for sure gay.
Gabriel.
What?
Vaughn is mad, I am sad.
No, I know it was Feck because he went fucking down and then took a little pathway to my spot.
Yeah. So wait, it's me, Gabe, and Feck, right?
Yes.
Are you saying Gabe
Alright.
can't go down and
Alright.
make a path?
Wait, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. And, I want to get
I
the
was really
Spider
hoping-
Gwens to
I was
battle
really
each other.
hoping the moment that you
Yeah.
did that emote, you were gonna get sniped.
Honestly, me too. I thought they were both in the bottom, so I was wrong. Hello? Anybody?
So now you just gotta go find them.
Yeah, I want the Spider Gwens to battle each other. Hello?
The battle of the Gwent. Into
Hello?
the Gwendverse.
Hi.
Hey.
There you go. I'm like, come on.
All things considered, that was an impressive shot.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Oh wait, what the?
Oh,
the cameras
you-
look so different.
oh,
The
okay.
color looks so different on PS4 and in PC. Yours looks so much more faded.
Does your PS4 have colorblind settings on?
No, because it's Maggie's account.
Oh, you're right.
I hear you down there.
You
I can
hear him,
hear
go
you.
get him.
Every fucking
You
villain
see,
in
the
the like
thing is, I don't want to die right now.
Why not?
almost every villain in the movie
Okay,
is just like,
that's
I
a
hear
nice
you.
glitch.
I know you're around here.
I know you're here.
Where are you?
Where are you? You can't hide from me from Eva. From Eva?
Oh, I think I'm stuck. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought I was stuck.
You did get stuck a little bit.
I think I'm stuck and never mind.
He fixed
Hot
it.
take, back.
He's a god. He fixed it. He's fine. Whoa! Oh god! Hello.
Oh.
Hey,
You almost emoted at the
Oh.
wrong time.
Oh. Yep.
Oh.
did I just win
Yeah,
my
I
own
was gonna do the
Hold on.
backflip emo.
You
No,
fi-
imagine
yeah,
did,
you
like,
finally won
the
your own
free
map,
drop
Feck.
dead emote.
All right, now Alex and Maggie needs to win one, so we all
Hey
get
man,
ones.
I should have won that one match. I was
I
dead
haven't-
on and the game said.
I
"Fuck
haven't
you."
won on this map in months.
That's actually true.
That is actually true.
Actual factual.
Actually, factually. Oh, I can
fuck?
still see the spray from last round here.
Oh, who
Sorry,
sniped me
Gabe.
there?
Sorry, Gabe.
Oh, okay. Nah, you good.
Let's talk about this.
What the?
No,
My
I don't wanna
crossbow
talk
wasn't
about
even
it. Do you want a
shooting.
truce?
What the hell?
You want truce, Alex?
We can choose. We can choose.
Okay, we can truce. That's fair.
Or you could just shoot each other.
Yeah, don't fucking
Shut up.
truce. What do you mean?
I'm coming after you.
Vaughn's gonna save you for last and fucking snipe the shit out of you, Alex.
What happened?
I said Vaughn
Vaughn
is
will
going to
100%
save you
betray
and
you.
and snipe the shit out of you for
okay, Vaughn,
last.
choose off. Vaughn, choose off.
Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go.
I called that at a good time.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
I'm not having a good time.
I am. I need to win this round.
Alex
that
is
and you
out
get
for
sniped.
fucking vengeance.
No, put that away.
Put that away. There's only one thing.
Effect, did
I
you
pulled
fucking
out-
spray first?
I pulled out my build menu.
Oh,
and I-
God.
Alex.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Alex, come on, man. Oh.
Oh my
Spider
fucking
Ring
god, that fucking
activated.
pull.
You're pulling.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's go.
Nice, okay.
I think Alex just pulled his way into first. Oh,
Nope,
nope.
second.
I'm
My
wrong.
one kill.
I forgot I
Me,
killed
Alex, and
Gabriel.
Sephiroth.
Nah, that's good.
Oh jeez.
Alright, Maggie, you need your win.
Alex
Let's
and I
go.
tied.
There's like a three-way tie for second.
Yeah,
Ooh,
me.
somebody's right next to me. Oh, shit.
You.
I am so
Oh,
sorry.
oh, it is Alex who's right next to me. I'll say that.
Alex, that was not nice.
I just turned the corner and she was there and I just pulled the trigger. I was so sorry.
Pull the
Sure you
trigger. Nobody gonna
Shot
do it.
through
Oh.
and
Oh.
you're to blame.
I'm trying to take first place, so sorry, not sorry.
Oh no, I saw you last second. Damn it.
Oh, that spray scared the shit out of me. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a scary spray, isn't it? Ah!
Get him, Vaughn.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's happening?
I
Oh
got
no!
him.
Oh my god, what's happening? Oh, you did not get him.
It's you and Alex.
Uh-oh. Hi guys, how are you? How's everybody doing?
No, that's a nice spot, actually.
Thank you.
It's a nice spot.
Oh,
You blend in really well.
You're chilly, Alex.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. Sure.
You
Yeah,
blend in
yeah.
really
Whoop,
well.
whoop,
Oh,
whoop,
shit.
whoop. Let's go.
Right on it.
Oh my god.
Alright,
Alex,
okay, I'm
you
ahead on
scare
kills.
me.
I just need another round.
Kill him first. Kill him first. Kill
Sure.
Alex first.
I'm pulling a truce on Maggie because I should not have killed her the way I did last round. So if I see her, I will not kill her.
I saw you over there in red, whoever you were. I don't know who you are.
That was me,
That is
sir.
not me.
That was me.
Ah,
Hello, friend.
hello.
Who's over here?
I kind of like edged out a little bit too far at the beginning, which was not my intent.
Who's the
God.
person in red that you guys were talking about? I'm gonna come over to red.
I literally just
going-
said it was me.
Are you going to red or are you going to orange?
Oh, well, it's not you because it's Vaughn.
But wait,
See,
how
that's-
is my just
Oh well, there
That's
goes
orange,
Alex.
That's
That
not
was.
red.
I'm colorblind. Leave me alone.
It doesn't look orange to me either. It looks
Okay,
red
so-
and then it looks yellow.
On
It's like a
on
red
the map, it looks orange, but like in the actual game, it looks red for some
Yeah,
reason.
On the
they
map it
look the
looks
same to me.
yellow, bro.
To me, they look the same. Then again, I think I have colorblind settings off ever since like the big update, so
Heck, you're so
You
mean.
should probably turn those back on.
Oh, I mean,
probably.
I heard a lot of shooting,
Who's
but
left?
nobody died.
who's around?
You, me,
Um,
Maggie, and Gabe, I think.
So it's
I
just.
think-
Yeah, I'm
Finn.
alive. I'm alive.
Wait,
I'm
Alex, what the fuck happened to you?
All right.
I
killed him.
died.
Oh.
Me, Maggie, and Gabe.
Well, there goes
are-
Heck.
This is Maggie's game to win, guys.
All right,
So it's
Maggie's on
Maggie,
track to
Britt,
win.
and Gabe, yep.
Britt hasn't moved much.
No, I have not.
All right. Maggie's the aggressive player right now because the other two are standing still.
I'm not standing
That
still.
is a fact. Yeah, you're pacing around. Oh,
Damn.
I
I was
did
just
not
right
mean
in
to
her
do it
face,
that
but
way.
that's not fair.
To be fair,
God damn.
oh man.
Shooting her in the face was not fair.
Point blank.
You know, when both of you are camping, it's kind of hard for the game to happen.
he wasn't camping. I just heard him. He's in white side, but
Is he though?
he
But
well
is there no-
yes. I can hear him, so yes, he's right underneath
sure about
me.
Yeah, I hear someone just running. I'm gonna run
Well,
too.
it's the same someone because it's only
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's only you and me. Are you in that spot,
There should-
Gabriel?
Come on, Brett.
What
In
spot?
that spot.
Are you in,
Which
are you in-
spot? What
The
spot?
spot.
There's no spot for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Honestly, the
Oh,
Spider-Gwen
no,
skin
you're
is
not.
a really good skin.
You're not.
The Spider-Gwen skin is so good.
I like the unhooded version though, personally.
I like it too.
Yes, I'm very excited to get it.
Because I really need to play more.
I also think it's the only skin that looks good on the bonus skins page.
Honestly, yeah.
They should have gave her a symbiote style.
Nah,
I still need
I'd
to
rather-
watch Into the Spider-Verse.
You really do, because it's super good.
The second one's gonna be
Same.
amazing. I know it.
It's gonna be so good.
Damn, Britt.
You haven't watched
Too
it either?
late.
I kind of missed
Wait,
it,
was it
but
on?
it's fine.
Yeah, no, I missed the hype train.
Oh yeah, Britt definitely has not watched it yet.
You guys
Megan
are still,
has,
like,
though,
on
which
top
is
of each other, which
surprising.
is impressive.
Yeah.
That's
is-
not surprising. She's like big on Disney.
Well, yeah,
that
she's big
is
on Disney,
surprising.
but not on superheroes. Not really, at least.
No, she's definitely into superheroes. What?
Hmm?
I remember when I went to like Disney with you guys a couple years ago. Like we were in that one shop and she saw like a superhero comic and freaked out about it. I was like, the fuck? I've never seen her excited over a comic, much less a superhero comic.
Alright, you guys have 20 seconds.
Where the fuck did Gabriel just go?
Away.
Dude, where are you running off to, bro?
Oh yeah,
I'm
Zach, the
not-
thing I was gonna suggest.
I'm not
is
camping.
You guys
Uh,
are super close.
You should make it where like in
Got
the
it.
last minute.
Oh shit! I didn't see. Damn! I
Oh,
didn't
shit.
see.
That means I need to have flawless victories if I want to
Alright,
be
we
bros.
need to
I
stop.
should
Britt.
make it run the last
Oh
minute.
boy.
We're in the last minute. Some of the walls get destroyed, like on my map, so that way it's easier to find each other when it's hectic.
That's true.
Yeah, that's scary. That's the scary part.
And that's what makes it good, because I like.
I need
whenever
one
it's,
more
like,
win, and
think
then
you're
you guys
safe and
can't
bam.
get up to me.
Yeah, and then the game ends, and I don't want that.
Just
Or you to have
ever.
it. Please get away. You're scaring me. Get away. Gotcha.
Oh!
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck!
What?
Alex was fucking going. Oh
I
my
was
god!
spamming that trigger.
I heard you two fighting over there. I saw Maggie running up, so I was like, I'll just jump in here, see what happens.
Yeah, now Britt's in an untouchable position as far as winning the game.
Unless I kill Britt.
Well, yeah,
No,
no, Brit just can't win.
Yeah, that's true.
But whoever
that's true.
wins, they need to win the rest of the games to at least tie.
Don't mind me.
So if I win this, you guys just let me win the next one. Everything's fine.
Don't mind me.
What?
You winning
No.
on your map more than once?
Look, I could dream, all right. So whoever's in red, I can see your.
Yeah, I know.
Fact,
What?
please.
That was right
Fact,
on you.
Please.
That was.
Okay.
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 All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Fazed by that.
See you later.
Who's here?
Me. Me.
Yes.
You want to not be here, Vaughn? Because that'd be really great for both me and.
You want to not be here.
Don't jinx yourself.
You want to help me kill Britt?
I want to help kill you first. You.
Whoa!
Wow, that was mean.
All right, Vaughn. That means you
That
can win every other
was
game.
just mean.
Alright.
Don't fail, then, Vaughn.
Yeah.
No promises.
I was the only one that had like a legit chance of taking her down with the kills I had, but now that I didn't win the round, it's up to you to at least tie her.
Okay, the
Vaughn,
way I'm
Vaughn.
feeling in this situation right now, I have 25%. So
Vaughn,
25% what?
I
Vaughn,
have
we could
20
have teamed. Say, just speak.
Oh, I
English?
have, my win rate is 25%. So I have low caffeine in my
25% for what?
winning this match or winning against Brit.
There's two people. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, you have 50-50, bro. And with these
And even if it was out of
crossbows, it's
six,
not
it's
even
a
out of 100%.
12.5% chance.
Okay, what? Okay.
Well, we could have
Close.
teamed up, killed Britt, and then fought each other, but no, you killed me, so I
You
hope
say
you lose now. and I hope Britt wins.
12.5?
Wait,
Five
no,
dollars?
it would be
No,
18.
son
It
of
would be 18.
No,
Yeah.
you son
I'm
of a
sorry.
bitch. I already know what your tactics are. You're gonna once we
I was
kill
thinking
Brit,
out of
you're
eight,
gonna
I was
kill
thinking out of
me
eight.
next, right off the bat.
I mean, yeah, we'd be the last two left, so we'd have to kill each other.
no,
but-
you
I
probably
will,
turn
I'm
around
gonna
and
say,
say
Vaughn, right away, I don't hear a goddamn thing. So, you
you're
are
nowhere near me.
nowhere
Yeah.
near me.
You're actually cold, like
Every
actually.
round-
Like,
every
you
round is
you
great,
are
it's just a
not
game
near
of hide
me.
and seek.
Oh, I saw something. Oh, I saw a little something.
A little something.
A little something, but it's gone now.
A little something. something.
Vaughn, she's not where you think she is.
I'm scared. She's probably gonna be around the corner.
No, I don't see you, bro. I don't see. To be fair, I actually don't see much of anything. But
That's a.
it's a good point. I see like nothing.
You were on the wrong half of the map.
Yeah, I know. I'm just watching my surroundings.
Yeah, with
You don't
less
need
than a
to
minute
if you're
left.
on
Is
the
he
wrong half.
okay?
of the
Is he on top floor or bottom floor?
He's on bottom floor.
He is. Okay.
He's just- He's just in the wrong three colors.
Oh, bye.
I know,
Still in the
I'm
wrong three
watching.
colors.
Oh, you.
I said she's not where you think she is.
What the fuck?
And I also moved, so I'm definitely not where you think I am. Oh, bullshit.
That's the last 10 seconds.
Bullshit.
Fuck.
Well, that means you have to win the last two games, man. You have to win the last two. In fact, no, I actually still have a chance. I just need to win the rest of the games.
No, fuck you. Everybody kill Alex.
Everybody kill
What
Vaughn.
Yeah,
about
that's
Brit?
Everybody kill
Yes.
Everybody
Brit
just
check.
play
No,
the
not
fucking
that.
game. Nobody cares.
I mean, it is the triangle. of
Just
death
play
right
the fucking
You
game.
son of a bitch!
now.
Oh!
What was that noise, Alex? What the fuck?
I literally just like,
Uh,
slid up on Vaughn and said
Poor
that to you.
Gabriel.
Oh.
Yes. Maggie,
Well-
let's go! Oh, fuck. Come on.
Well, enjoy your win, Brit.
No. Oh my god. You got this, Feck.
Shut up, Vaughn. I don't need your encouragement.
Of all the people who get encouragement from you, are definitely not it.
You got this, Feck.
I don't know where Brit is, which is what I don't like.
Everywhere. And nowhere at the same
I don't know if I'm gonna walk through that door and die, or I don't know if I'm gonna try and go downstairs and then die.
I'm not downstairs. Does that count for
Okay,
anything?
so yeah, a little bit. You know that helps a little.
You can go two ways. You can go up or down.
Closer than you think.
I
There's a
thought
spray
Brit
there.
was a
I thought that was
spray,
Brit
yeah.
just crouching there.
That spray is scary.
You're up here somewhere?
Up,
Yeah,
up,
here you're walking.
Huh?
Oh, I'm crouched.
Huh?
Sorry, I crouched.
At least more of like a teabag versus a crouch walk.
Why you got a tea bag?
That's better than crouch walking.
Oh my god.
See you.
Oh my
No! What's up, dude? How you doing?
Yep.
Good
that's it.
game.
It's okay, it was worth it. You know what? I won a match on my map, which was
I'll
super
take
cool.
third.
I'd say second. Yeah.
I deserve first after all.
You
kills I
honestly
had, but,
did, dude. You went on a fucking rampage.
I'm just mad.
Thanks for doing all the work for me and all the rounds I killed you, Alex.
Appreciate it.
Was this LG's? Or do we want to play one quick one?
We could do truck color switch.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's a good game.
I would like you to know, Feck, that I just had the start button for your map, so I genuinely don't know what's going on.
The
Well,
game
you have
removed
editing
my
ability in my
favorites.
Yeah, but you guys had editing
has
ability in
removed your
mine, and
favorites?
I could
Like,
start my
you know
own.
how you can favorite maps and you can return to them later?
Yeah.
Yeah, they removed it from my favorites list.
Well, I have.
I have
Yeah,
it too,
Gabriel,
it's
go back
just-
to hub.
It took me a sec.
Go into settings and go back to hub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where is a party leader?
I am right here. I'm just waiting for Gabriel.
Actually, hang on, let me. I'll
Wait.
join you.
Go back. Okay, I'm at the settings, and then where do I go?
Go to settings, so you see
Uh-huh.
all the way down that screen, it should say back to hub. It's the last thing you
Oh, lobby.
can... No, not lobby. Not lobby.
No.
Oh shit! I clicked the lobby.
Okay, you should still be able to ready up.
You should
He
just
should
be
still
able
be
to
able to
hop
ready
right
up.
back in.
All right.
That's good. I like that.
Feck, are you moving your head up and down, up and
I
down?
haven't had these in a while.
Oh, he's coming. There he is. What's up, dude?
What's up?
The fact that
Oh,
these
it
go
said
up to
play with
6
party and
feet
others.
is
Hold on. I did that wrong.
Yeah,
Play
just
with
us.
party.
Just us.
There we go. Got it.
We don't want to play with other people.
Got it. All right.
Hey.
Just ready up.
Just be ready. Vaughn and Alex are brutal in this game. They will.
They are bitches.
Actually, I'm the
I've been
most
innocent
brutal
these
one in
last
this
couple
game.
of rounds.
Honestly, yeah.
Alex,
The last time Alex was
Alex,
pretty good.
remember when I said we'll do a few more rounds nice to each other, and then you instantly killed me?
It's not like I meant
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, technically I'm the most brutal one, so I may not. take
Okay,
that
yeah,
one.
Vaughn's an asshole.
Well, yeah, you don't hold back. I actually hold back.
That last one with me and Vaughn, I just fucking rammed into it because I was just trying to play.
I'm just trying to play a game.
I had a start button this time, guys. Can you believe that?
If we can all be
I'm
nice.
stuck. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, we're
We
fine.
could all be nice, or we could all be assholes. Let's find out.
It's all the assholes.
Let's just. Oh, okay. Let's just
That's
hope
what my friend-
that we can see the color. I started on white. I call white.
I'm saying blue.
I'm gonna guess red is the first
I'm
one.
gonna guess green.
Black.
Black.
None of us.
Wrong.
Cool. That's great.
Well, it's one of us.
But Brit, let's be friendly.
Hey, you
Brit,
said to be an
I did
asshole.
not do anything.
Nice.
I wasn't. Yes, I wasn't serious.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We're already
Here,
2 down.
here.
Wait,
I'm
who else
sorry.
died?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'll stay.
Maggie.
I'll stay right here. I'll get my
Oh, no, it was Maggie,
comeuppance.
it was us.
Oh, I won't kill Maggie. I won't kill Maggie. I
I'll
won't
get
kill
my
Maggie.
comeuppance.
No weird.
Alex,
That was rude of me. Gabriel, you died already. You good, man?
Yeah, I
I knew it.
died. Every first game I die.
Well, I mean, it's just a learning
I mean,
process.
yeah. Now you can just get the hang of it by watching others.
Yeah.
Green.
Holy shit,
Hey,
keep it
let's
up.
go.
Keep it up, keep it up.
I'm 2 for 2.
I just leveled up off of that. Hell yeah.
Leveled off of Feck's expertise.
Yellow.
Oh yeah,
I
Alex.
swear to God.
Nope.
Okay.
I was gonna say white too.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
about it, but then I was like, no,
What's up, bud?
it's gonna be farther than that.
The last time that we did creative, and we had Jackie playing with us. She went back to your VOD and she heard herself.
Yeah,
It's your
she
favorite color,
commented
man.
on
Why'd
the
you-
TikTok,
why-
I think.
Why'd you screw that one up?
Black.
Red.
Green is Feck's favorite color, and he screwed it up.
Yeah,
Can you
he's
move a
branded
bit?
with orange. Yeah.
Thank
here.
No, Feck is orange.
Blue.
I'm calling it yellow.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
he's
Feck
back.
is orange, but IRL Feck is green.
Yes.
Yes, my skin is green.
He is alien.
Just so you guys know, the army, Feck
Yeah.
is the green one.
Well, good game.
What just happened?
Maggie
What
just
did
did
you
that.
get so
Okay.
Was it
So
worth
apparently,
it? Was it
if you,
worth it?
I did. If you lightly scrape the front of somebody, they'll just go flying. Apparently.
Light scrape?
Maggie-
Gotcha.
I got
Where you at,
green.
motherfucker?
Alex,
Oh my
No, no,
god,
not you,
that's
not
so
you.
fucking funny.
Not
Alex,
Get out of the way.
Maggie just basically
I
did.
didn't- I didn't even try to kill you.
Barely went anywhere.
I was
That wasn't
wrong.
intentional.
Oh shit!
Go to white, Gabriel.
I'm dead.
No, Gabriel.
Last game.
Yellow.
Alex, I wasn't even trying to do that. I,
I
don't
was
know what
wrong.
happened.
That
Maggie
was
just basically.
insane. That was the craziest maneuver I've ever seen.
Maggie just basically did the Luigi. Does
blue.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
that
just going
actually
down the
kinda
line now. Oh, okay. I was wrong. It's over here.
Well, I did the body slam into Feck, and I was the one that went flying.
Maggie's just like, oh, this is nice.
Purple.
You missed the part where I
Red.
also died. I
No,
lost
I
Oh,
got
Maggie
that.
Ford.
That was funny.
Oh, hey guys.
Effective
Hello,
now-
everybody.
Oh, everyone's sharing.
Hello,
This is shared.
absolutely everybody.
Vaughn
Just
should
like
be
Bye,
shared.
fucking
Now
up
I'm
right
just
now.
over here.
I'm chill.
It's green again. Oh,
Brit,
Vaughn,
Brit,
Vaughn,
Brit.
Vaughn, I'm trying. No.
I actively avoided you. Alex.
Vaughn, I was trying to move. I'm sorry.
The boost didn't help.
I'm
wish
so
whenever we
sorry.
cockblock people that we
Oh
actually
my
got
God.
kill credit for it.
Like,
Because it just says Vaughn committed suicide, but there was definitely someone else.
There
that
was,
did
yeah,
that.
there was definitely like a third body right there.
lots of self kids don't do that, please.
Oh my god, Feck, you realize you ran over a green, right?
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to crash into Alex.
Okay.
Fair.
Yellow.
Fair, honestly.
Red.
Blue.
Oh my god.
Oh, holy shit, look at me go.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi. How you doing?
I hope you're all doing
I
well.
really
Somebody's
love
jamming
Maggie's
their
truck.
music
I
off
just
right
wish
now.
yellow
Honestly,
was a different
yes.
base color.
Yeah, Maggie's
Oh, bye.
vibing with music right now.
Oh hey, sick, I was right. Oh, Alex. Truck
No,
block.
it's not like I meant to block her. I was
Does
just
the
trying to
front
cruise
of
in
Maggie's
circles.
truck have piranha plants
That's
on it?
fair.
It has like a shark.
Yeah. Blue. Purple again.
I'm not moving.
Ooh, I'm moving just a little bit.
Maggie, you're dying.
Oh.
I'm just gonna stay right here.
Lame.
Again.
That's lame.
Black.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
It would be better if you died there.
Damn.
You know, you
Why?
said you weren't an asshole. You are so wrong.
But this round is different.
Whoa!
Nope, nope. Oh, let's go.
Green. Red again.
Okay.
Block it.
That game.
Close that.
Oh, fuck. Shit. Hi.
We hold out. We
How you
hold out.
doing?
Blue. Yeah.
Oh shit, I
Alex,
fucked up. I
that's
fucked up.
Oh. Bye, Alex.
I didn't commit to going backwards, and I tried going forwards. That was my demise.
Alright, Gabriel, don't die first.
You see, there's gonna be a color that pops up. You go to that color.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait right here for that color.
Red.
Blue.
Green. Obviously.
Nah, it's black.
Vaughn's just drifting.
Blue.
Blue.
Ooh, perfect spot.
No!
Don't
Gabriel, do you know how to drive? You good, man?
You do have brakes as well.
Gabriel's fucking like drunk. Let's go.
Stay second. There you go. Back.
Just a
I've been
prank.
so innocent this whole
Purple.
time, and I'm getting trampled.
Innocent.
I'm wrong. Fuck. I gotta go this way.
Oh,
Hey guys.
okay.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Hey guys.
get it,
Hey
get
guys.
it.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Alright, Gabriel wasn't the first out.
Nope. Vaughn and I were. GG's, guys.
Fight again.
That was so sad.
Everyone has their own square, and Britt has run away from her computer.
Yes.
Purple? Green. Oh, damn. I was really hoping Feck was gonna come over here so I can cock block him, and I saw orange truck and immediately thought it was Feck.
Red.
Black. Red.
assumption?
Oh my god, I'm always calling the reds. Look at that. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Oh no! You guys killed Gabriel!
Alright, green.
No, I pressed reverse. I pressed the wrong button.
Gabriel, you killed Gabriel!
We got Nos? Wait, we got Nos on the truck?
Yeah.
It's
I
blue.
didn't know that.
What are you playing on?
Blue.
Purple.
He's playing on PlayStation.
It's circle.
Autobots roll out. Hi, Ba, how are you?
Yes.
Roll out. Hey, bud.
I don't think any of us have a deep enough voice for that. Ooh, Feck's cutting corners.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, that storm's rolling in, though, Feck. Yeah, you're fine.
Fine, I'm fine. But it's
Red.
yellow.
Well, you're wrong.
Oh, Feck.
We'll play nice this time.
Play nice.
Anybody
This
but
time.
the Archangel Gabriel. Well, I don't think Gabriel's an Archangel.
Purple.
I think you're thinking about the wrong Gabriel.
Yeah, you're talking about the fallen one or
Uh-oh.
what?
Uh-oh. Oh, you dick. You dick.
I had the perfect opportunity.
Black.
Hey man, this is your girlfriend. You kill her, then you got
The
issues.
relationship's over. If I kill her, the relationship's over.
I swear, Maggie, I can just see Maggie
Oh,
just
she
giving
sat
him
forward in her
the
gamer
meanest
chair.
look.
She's ready to.
Oh, she got ready. She got prepared.
Alex loser Maggie's gonna break up.
It's a lose-lose situation.
I can literally see
Yeah, but
Maggie
one
just
loss is
giving
better
him
than the other.
meanest look.
If we're gonna be honest. You blocker.
Oh wow.
Go Maggie, let's go!
She literally sat forward in her gamer chair. She is ready. Damn. Well played.
She was like in the middle. She was ready for blue. She was like, it's gonna be fucking
So you
blue.
guys are blue.
Something's gonna happen here.
Good.
Oh, go Maggie.
That's
Alright,
Damn it.
nice.
no.
Nice. It's gonna get faster, y'all.
Yeah, it's the next one's intense.
Uh-oh.
What?
Maggie's
God.
gone.
How the fuck?
Alex is
Obviously, the
going
ring
off,
is the one
dude.
who will
Good
win. You're right.
She backhanded my high five.
You know. Uh-oh. Alex and
So
Maggie
how do you
are
press the
over now.
NOS?
Circle. It's circle. If you're on PlayStation.
Alright.
Oh yeah, you PlayStation players.
Wow.
He got a PS5. He's got to use it.
That's fair, honestly. Especially with how much money that thing's
Purple.
worth. Red. Damn.
Good call.
Perfect. Back.
Oh, hi Maggie.
Oh, Gabriel.
Hey!
Oh,
I was testing the NOS. I was testing if it was working.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it definitely worked.
It
Little too
worked
much.
the wrong. Yeah.
Hey,
it ra-
Zach, I think we
I
should
ran out
switch
of-
this.
I ran out of gas and the NOS.
Purple.
I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it.
Oh. Come on, get on. Okay.
I don't want to die for a second.
Green square is
Yellow.
safe. Okay, you know what? Green square. Green. Oh, let's fucking go! Thank you, Bob.
Oh, hi, Alex. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, pretty good.
Black.
Blue.
Blue.
White. Fuck. Hi, Maggie. How are you? But is a god. Yes, but you are very much a god.
Red.
Blue. God damn it!
Ooh, I almost fucking bumped into Alex.
Oh, fuck! What just happened? What the fuck?
He
He
tried
tried
getting there.
boosting over to a farther yellow and died because of it.
Blue.
I didn't want to be
Let's
on a place
go.
with so many
Oh,
trucks.
you guys can. Oh, you guys can push me if you wanted, so you guys can get on.
Well, we didn't want to push you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't want to push people, Alex? Shut the
Just
fuck
to,
up.
just to be able to get on. I meant. Oh, hi, Alex. Oh, hey guys. How are you? Fun!
You guys
Fun! Oh, shit. Oh, neither one of us even boosted, I don't think. I think it was just both of us together were powerful
Maggie's
enough.
out for blood after last game.
Maggie's serious now.
I'm so sad now.
Maggie's straight face, she got the glasses on, she's like, yep, my
She ain't
time.
sitting forward yet, though. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
What?
Oh, no!
Whoa!
No, Maggie! Maggie, what just happened? Oh, well now I'm with Alex. God damn it.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, hey buddy.
Oh,
Thanks.
wow.
Thanks for the adjustment.
worth a
I
shot.
appreciate that.
That was not an adjustment. I was trying to pull off body slam.
I know.
Blue.
I'm glad I killed you in that round, Alex.
Oh, well, that's
Honestly,
GG. Oh, never mind.
That's
Nah,
GG. Meanwhile, I just roll
Alex.
out.
Yeah, Alex.
The Brit
Got me.
got out of the way.
They're dropping like flies. They really are.
Yes, the very, very heavy truck-weighted fly.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, let's go!
Damn. Damn it.
Oh my
Nice
god.
save, nice save.
Holy shit. That was
Well
really
done,
bad.
my
That was
man.
about to be really fucking
Red.
bad.
Eventually.
Never
I
mind.
got too greedy going for the kill.
I did. God damn it.
But no. Now Alex
You know
is
what,
winning.
Feck? How about you live for once?
I would if Alex wasn't an asshole.
You know who does need to live though? Gabe.
Gabriel.
Gabe needs to
Gabe.
make a tunnel circle.
Me and Gabe, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the
Bob
game ends
actually
on green
can
square.
be
I
kind
take
of
credit.
bullied in
Yes.
this game.
I call white.
Yeah, last round, make it count.
Purple.
I'm going red.
Fucking.
Maggie, how you doing?
Oh, hey guys. How you doing?
Dude.
Welcome.
We just chill here. We just
White.
Red.
Red.
I want white. Well, fuck.
Hello. Hey, Val.
No!
Gabriel! Oh,
Did it-
okay,
did
he's
it-
I'm
okay.
good, I'm good, I'm good. The NOS works. The NOS works.
Yeah, you need to get yourself ready for colors like before they happen.
Fuck you, Alex. Fuck
Oh,
you.
I
Maggie,
did not move.
Fuck
I
careful.
just didn't move.
You lined yourself up.
She's
right in the
okay.
I was there before you were, so shut up.
block. Yeah, which is how you lined up the block.
I
didn't
didn't,
know you
I
were
didn't,
coming to
I
me.
didn't. Oh, okay, you're talking to Feck, not me. Okay.
Sure, Alex. Sure. Sure.
I don't want you both to bump into me
I
and
understand.
fling to me like that last time.
No.
Hey guys.
Whoa.
Feck, that was hot.
Wow,
Jesus.
Maggie.
Maggie! No!
It was not me! Do not flick me off. That was not me.
Is this purple? Wait, is this
Oh,
purple?
fuck,
Oh
fuck,
shit,
fuck.
no, it's not purple! I swear,
What
I
were
thought-
you
I thought that was
on?
purple.
You
Because there's pink and there's purple. I don't know what the. Oh, that's
There's-
blue.
there's
Never
no
mind.
pink. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gabriel.
yeah.
Alright, we got another colorblind person.
I don't know what happened
Yeah,
there.
yeah, apparently. Oh, guys, guys,
Hey, hey,
let me in. Let me in. Uh-oh. Oh, bye, Alex. Oh, man. Oh,
I was really hoping I was gonna pop up through the floor like Vaughn did the last time we played this round.
No, you were too far
oh,
down.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know how I got that happened to me, but
Oh, hey, guys.
On made it to final
How are you?
circle.
Oh, hey, how dare you?
Sorry, I was
I
trying
was
to get
gonna
on. I
make
didn't mean to push you.
I was gonna make sure that Feck gets on. You know.
I love that our trucks are just like forever in neutral when we stop. I'm okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, also we have
Barely.
to have like impressive like stick shift in order to drive a truck.
Dude, actually.
What just
Oh
happened?
shit. Oh shit.
Vaughn
No.
is dead.
Help. Help.
And I can't.
Oh, I'm not pushing
Oh.
forward anymore. What the fuck?
Well, at least you made it to the final circle, Vaughn. I'm so
You
sorry.
did. You did.
This wasn't a good
Oh.
session for me.
Yeah, last time though.
Uh-oh.
You were on that.
Oh,
Everything's
oh.
fine. I'm good.
Are you not? Are you in the storm or not?
I'm cuddling with it, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Red. Red, red, red,
Get
red,
it?
red, red, red,
Nice. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey,
Oh,
thanks for helping
I
me
gotta
turn.
do that. There we go.
Encouraging enemies.
Well, we're not enemies. He's my best friend.
Hello.
Enemies.
Did you just question that, Peck? Did you just?
We are
Right?
gonna have to stop being nice to each other again.
Red.
Someone's
Wait.
dying. Oh my brain.
We're good. We're good. Shut up.
All right, next color. You better start moving.
Purple.
Oh, fuck.
Back one that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit. We fell at the same time. That's bullshit.
Wow. I mean,
Fall slower next time, Britt.
What?
Good games all around.
Yeah, GG's, y'all. All right, now
okay,
back-
I thought I was
now
gonna
hit the
land
back
on
of
the
the lobby.
truck. Okay, how did you do that?
You remember the button you pressed last time? Press that button this time.
But again.
Wait, what button? There's no button.
return to lobby button that you went to in settings.
Oh, that one? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Oh man.
Oh, I found back to hub.
Congratulations. Good job, Gabriel. All right. Yeah, GG's, y'all.
So,
Fuck.
Do we
Yeah,
do
that
we
was
have a
fun.
plan for Wednesday?
This Wednesday?
Was it Smash Bros?
No, we never made a plan.
We
I
do
am
not
free
have
this
one.
Wednesday.
No. I am also probably gonna have a hurricane by then. I think Gabriel and I are gonna have a hurricane.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I'm gonna be surfing, man.
Well, have fun with that.
Okay.
Honestly, that
So-
sounds
so-
like the Floridian way.
Honestly, yeah, you're not wrong.
Another hurricane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, in the month.
Hurricane
Yeah, water's
Nicole.
already getting. We're already getting like out of stock on water in our area. So
Are you
Oh,
really?
that's not fun.
yeah, again.
Have you guys had the mobs like last time?
Oh, we always have the mobs, man.
It's so bad. It's so bad at Walmart. Walmart sucks.
Walmart does
Alex,
suck. Well, yo,
let me know if you want to play 3D World together. Anytime.
at some point, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of these Wednesdays when I'm like, home and you're off, you're more than welcome to come over.
That is true, yeah.
The 30th, actually, I think we can have Zach over. So maybe you can come over as well, and then the three of us can mess around with 3D World.
Oh, that's gonna be so chaotic.
Exactly. The more chaotic.
Exactly.
The more the merrier.
But alright, GG's, all that
Yeah.
shit. It was fun meeting you, Gabe, and playing with you. Do you have any
Thank you,
Do
guys.
you have any quick social medias that you go?
Yeah, I
out by?
use Snapchat.
Oh, okay, sick.
I think Britt has it.
I do.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely. If you want to play with us more, we do shit like this all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Along with, like-
He's been looking to play Fortnite with more people, and I'm like, yo, I got a group.
We have people.
We have friends.
There. I mean, I'm playing with Maintenance Matt and Big Matt.
Aren't they both maintenance?
Yeah, but they're different mats, right? We have two mats in the maintenance. That's why. That's why I call the other one Big Matt.
And then at my job, there's 3 Alexes in front end, so
That's amazing.
there's 7 in the entire store.
There was a lot of
Yeah, we
Britneys at our store too.
Yeah, there's AP Brittany, and then there's you, and then there's another one up the front.
There's a
There was a-
surprising lack of effects in the mini golf business.
That, yeah, you're not wrong.
I can't imagine why. You should come work with us.
I love that he says in the mini golf business. Like there's a feck in our industry.
There probably
Like
is
we
some shit.
know a feck in Walmart, just not in mini golf.
I'm sure there is. There's definitely gotta be.
There has to be.
There has to be.
I think there's literally a website where you can look up names in the world.
Most popular names, but I don't know about every name.
Feck is nowhere near the top. I will say that
I
now.
don't think so.
That's dumb. It should be way near the top.
Alright.
But alright, GG's, all that shit.
GG.
Yup. GG's.
Catch
Have a
you
good night, y'all.
guys,
Good
Thursday. Thursday. Oh wait, no, critical role for you guys.
Critical Role, yes.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Well, see you guys next Sunday then.
Yeah.
Unless I can find a Club Penguin day.
Next.
True. If my next free day for Club Penguin would be Thursday, so maybe we could shoot for Friday.
Yeah, we could try.
All right. Well, catch you guys later.
Yep. Peace
Yeah.
out. Have a
Alright.
good one. Bye.
Peace.
See
Oh,
ya.
yeah.
Damn, they left quick. Goddamn.
Damn.
Alright.
Maggie's still here. She's hanging out.
Hi, Maggie.
Bye, Maggie.
See ya. There she goes. Alright. You said you're working tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow and
Are
Wednesday.
you late shift tomorrow?
No, I'm opening tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So it's not as bad as I thought. I thought you were gonna get off at 10 and you're like, I don't know, guys.
Nope. I open the next 2 days.
The next 2 days. Are you off Thursday?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, nice. You're off on a Critical Role day. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're off on a
And I
Critical
think
Role
I'm
day
on-
that doesn't require you to go to drill the next morning.
Yeah.
Is
And I think
better
I'm off
said.
on Friday.
Oh, hey, nice. I, again, have a hurricane coming, so there's that. I don't know why. Being in Florida
Fuck 'em.
is just shit.
That's great. So excited.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were coming here. Hey, Feck, Florida's awesome. You know, it's so good.
I
I'm
feel
so
like
happy to
you're
be here.
lying to me.
I have been trying to get out of the state, if you couldn't tell by my eagerness to go to Tennessee. But now if I go to Tennessee, it would be counterproductive. So
couldn't have lied or anything, you know.
I don't think that's a healthy way to start our IRL relationship. So
It's gonna be better than being here, I think. I hope.
I don't
now.
know. I don't know that city. So I
think it
don't
will.
know.
I think it will be. I think it'll be a great time.
But when you visit me, we can go to Disney and Universal and
Yeah.
SeaWorld if you're okay with SeaWorld.
Shy and I are pretty sure we're gonna get annual passes to Disney.
Yeah, let's go. I have that.
You have one?
Yes. Dude, we live right
Nice.
next to it, so yes.
I guess that makes sense.
Go visit me, we'll all
Alright.
go. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Alright.
Holy
Peace out.
shit, Alex was on till 1 a.m. Yeah, later.
Yeah, he said that he would be on later because he was on later.
Even on nights we normally started at 11:30, though, we'd be off by like 12:30.
I don't know, I guess it kind of depended.
What time I gotta be in tomorrow? 11? Cool. Wake up at 10.
Wake up at 10. Let's go. Alright. Have a good night.
You too.
And good luck at work tomorrow.
Thanks.
After like 3 weeks off. 2.5 weeks off.
It'll be great.
It'll be amazing. You're gonna be great.
I know.
See ya.
Later.
Alright. I am going to get out of this, so maybe my frames stop dropping. I have lost a lot of frames, and I don't know why. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really glad I got Gabe into this, because, he's been talking about it for, like, a week or two, and it's like, well, we can play just when we're all ready. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of Gabriel. I think his Twitch was... Hold on. He has a Twitch that I am going to link. I just don't remember it. Was it the same as his? Yeah, it is. Oh no, this one's the J. That is Gabriel's Twitch. So, go check him out, because he's my friend, and he's cool, and he's funny, and we like supporting people. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Peace out. See you in the next one.